debate, uncut and after show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Mel's 24, Unimento, M, Iron 26, Endless, Goldie McKinnon, Retro Bill, Michael Khan, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Harry Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Hello, Discord.
Hey, just me and somebody just left. Oh, he came back. Yeah, how are you guys doing, Neil? McLeod's in here. And
Hello.
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 Gotta give them time. They'll be here.
Who are they, Neil? Who are you talking about? And why aren't you hustling them here now?
I am. I'm sending them messages now. Fracted will be here. Brian will be here. So people are not expecting the show. This is what happens when you take a long time off because of illness.
Yeah, well, there we go. Such is life. I've got a video to cover. Do you want to do that?
Let's go.
At the very least, I need to sound check it. This is actually somebody I'm subscribed to. Always a bit disappointing when somebody you subscribe to as a pop at Flat Earthers, but there we go, such is life. Wrong one. There we go, that one. See that all right?
Yes, I didn't hear anything yet.
Yeah, because I haven't played it yet. I'm just checking if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, it's up on screen. I see it.
Before I get into today's video...
A bit loud.
I've had a chest infection for the last few weeks, so I apologise if my voice sounds very rough. Nonetheless, today I'm feeling somewhat nostalgic. You see, many years ago, when I first started recording spectacularly unsuccessful YouTube videos, back in the day when, if a video got 10 views, that was brilliant. If it got a like, I was ecstatic. All those years ago, there was a group of people who I thought were fair game, and they are Flat Earthers, because to me, the Flat Earth community strikes me as a group of people going, look at us, we can't wait to show you just how moronic we are.
Anybody disagree?
Sounds like projection to me.
Oh no, this guy's pretty level-headed, generally speaking. We're going to take it quite gently with this guy, right? Because you are right. Some of what we will witness here is going to be projection of his own fears, like with every single person that makes a video about, Flat Earth. But this guy's actually pretty level-headed. Like I say, I'll subscribe to this guy. But do you disagree with him? if you were to generalise and stereotype as he's just done, a flat earther, would you say your average flat earther puts out feast of nonsense, or flat Earth measurements as we do?
Feast of nonsense.
Or
We're the only ones talking this.
would you disagree with him, or agree with him?
I agree with him.
Right. So
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
Just because, well, I'm only like in like the real flat Earth community, so I don't know what all the other flat Earthers are doing. So I'm speaking from ignorance, I guess.
What you're saying is, outside of his stereotype, you don't like his stereotype because the stereotype doesn't apply to you as a flat earther. Correct?
Oh, okay, right.
Well, it's a question.
Oh no, it doesn't apply to me saying feast of nonsense stuff.
Right.
People who don't get the reason you can't see the curvature of the Earth is big.
We know that.
They never fail, do they?
He doesn't know how big it is for sure.
Yeah.
Do they realize it's 1.22? They don't even realize that you're supposed to see it?
Yeah, what Neil's pointing out is
But
that the begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve maths, puts the geometric horizon, that's Earth curve, at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet off a flat Earth. So your height off surface level
he's correct.
will give you your geometric horizon calculable with those maths, based on a flat Earth height off surface level, and eye level being parallel with surface level, so you can calculate your dip angle to the flat surface and infer that there's a geometric horizon at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Unfortunately, where you said projection, ineptitude, ignorance, those are more appropriate words. He doesn't know his own religion.
I think this is.
Go ahead.
Yeah. This is the first information, and for all of us, it was big. It is big. You know that it's big. My God, UK, it's big. Not like one country, it's big. Not only Earth. And when you're thinking, like I was thinking in years, my God, it's big. But when you go into the math, then you find out it's not so big. It's small. You cannot have 10 miles of flatness, and they never will get that. Not even 10, 5, but let's give them that 10 because Black Swan is there.
Yeah, it's a cluster screw.
You know, that's why maybe even just a subtitle of the book should be called "It's So Biggie, It's Flatty."
I'm interested in what is coming after that when he said it's big. Now he has something to say after that.
Yeah, we're waiting in anticipation. I feel
Yeah.
bad because I'm saying you're going to do a show, and now he's in pain already, Nathan. So it might not be a long one, but our leader has got to get healthy.
They put you in perspective of the ant, the small creature. But the ant has the technology. They forget that. They can measure the surface. But ant cannot do that. But human can.
Then, 5 years ago, the pandemic struck, and it transpires that many of us know many more idiots than we thought we did.
Squarespace.
But over the last few days, I've been scrolling through the mental illness factory that is TikTok, and I've noticed that Flat Earth is making a comeback. Joy. So before we get into the I was going to say theory before we stare into the abyss of
All right, well, we'll find out whether or not you know how to use that word, won't we, Danny? So, theory. Okay, we'll see if we know what that word means.
flat Earth theory. A few points.
Oh, clearly not. So, flat Earth theory. No. See, flat being a description of Earth can be quantified with measurement as a what is statement. Theory summarizes experimentation based on cause and effect reasoning. That's where you get your theories from in scientific terminology. Now, given that we're dealing with the physical and natural world, I'm going to categorize this correctly as science and then point out that an aspect, that's flatness, and how it's measured isn't science.
Because I'm
Yeah,
aware.
it always goes back to it, though, Nathan, that they don't understand science. Bottom line.
There may be a few flat earthers watching this video.
Oh, I kind of want to cover this on the show, on the live show.
Yeah.
I've only got a certain amount of oomph in me today. So, what I am tempted to do, let's just have a look at my stream settings. I'm tempted to just go live. Right, we're a little bit early. But while I've got the motivation to do so, let's just say. All connected up on Tickety Boo. Let's just have a look. Yeah, it's all functioning. Let's do this. Hello.
Morning.
How's it going?
Everything is well. I sent out for the reinforcements. They will be here soon.
Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet?
Nathan, Earth is big.
Yeah, that I wanted to say.
What about the assertion in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator that there's a physical geometric sphere edge at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off a flat Earth in feet? What about that Earth curve? Is that so biggy we
Nathan.
can't see it?
Earth is big. Refraction.
I'll say it a third time. What about that physical geometric sphere edge horizon marked with an X and labelled horizon in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations that utilise your height of eye level parallel with surface level in an orthographic view that asserts that we can definitely see a geometric physical Earth curve edge when we calculate our height off a flat Earth? Is that not something that is asserted to be seen? Reified into existence after measuring your height off a flat Earth, I might add.
Yeah, but see, Nathan, now that we know that, we comprehend that. Obviously, this guy whose video that you're going to go over, he's oblivious to it. Now, the thing is, when he hears it, what will he do? That's the question.
What's the question? I was opening something.
We understand it now, but we whistled right past it many times. Now, the question is, when people come to this realization and it's put before them, when they deal with it that way, then you see where they're at.
Well, I think there's a lot of mental anguish in the case of this guy. This guy we're going to be covering today for the audience, because we'll be covering a little bit of this in the pre-show. It's called Disgruntled Danny, in case you hadn't figured that out from the show title, because I did actually name and shame him in our title, which I don't normally do. But in this case, I like the guy, right? So we're going to be taking general on Disgruntled Danny and empathising with him more than we are taking, umbrage with him, because I do empathise with the guy, and I can understand and try and relate to it. And we already have in the pre-show where he's obviously been stereotyping flat earthers and saying how stupid they are. We've gone, well, yeah, we can kind of agree with you when we cover Feast of Nonsense. So Sony came in the post just now. For anybody who's interested, probably not. This is an FV07T. So there you go. Sony microphone. Kind of plasticky. But there we go. We'll see how it sounds in a minute. I'll open the other one. Got two. I'll do that in a sec. Anyway, yeah, so we'll be covering Disgruntled Danny momentarily. Any evidence of, what else should we cover? Axial rotation of the Earth-based variety.
We're going to
What do
need
you
an
say,
observation
Discord?
of Coriolis effect for that one.
What's that Coriolis effect? What, like having two separate
Yeah.
reference frames?
Right. We're going to need to see that to prove axial rotation, I think.
What do you mean? We do see that. We recognize that the stars are moving at 15 degrees per hour.
It's got another boundary mic. I don't know why, I've just got a slight
But
obsession with
Neil,
being able to mic a whole band that I haven't got. I'm sorry, I'm just showing people my biodynamic boundary mic. Carry on.
sorry, Nathan. Neil, if the stars move above the Earth, then everything in the air should move as well.
No, see, that's where you don't understand. Earth and atmosphere move as one. Come on, guys. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a high priest, has said that on many occasions.
Okay, there's assertions
What
that we
happens
have
when it's
on a globe Earth
windy
that's
then?
turning.
Right?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, what happens when it's windy if the air moves with the Earth?
Yeah, who cares? This misapprehension is something that I don't like debating because it's a misapprehension. When people assert, like Disgruntled Danny will shortly, that Earth and atmosphere turn as one, then you don't have Foucault and his assertions that we have a Coriolis deflection. Now, Coriolis effect is what the Earth is claimed to have. That is the claim. So a non-inertial and inertial reference frame, two separate reference frames with Earth turning underneath, is the assertion. That's what Coriolis requires. Now, it's not debatable what Earth is claimed to be doing when it's a ball and you're in a religion that comes from the Roman Catholic Church and Copernicus. Then you require Earth to be a non-inertial turning reference frame, turning underneath stuff not attached. Now, when it doesn't do that, the ball Earth idiots that don't understand their own rhetoric want to assert that the two are combined. What? So no deflection at 15 degrees now, you bunch of idiots. Yeah, these people who assert that they're combined are as stupid as Simon Dan. I'm sorry, I said I'd take it easy on Disgruntled Danny. Maybe we'll assert that he's as stupid as Simon Dan, who is specific to this subject, whereas Disgruntled Danny's a mere bystander putting his two pennyworth in, which is kind of fair enough. Dan, on the other hand, should know better when he tells me you and your reference frames are ruined, right? There is no deflection at 15 degrees an hour named Coriolis effect alleging to prove Earth's turning. Oh, there isn't any. It's all turning together. Yeah, you need to learn your own bloody rhetoric, you bunch of buffoons on the globe side of this discussion. My God. You're supposed to have two reference frames. It's called Coriolis effect. Learn your religion. Anyway, so biodynamic boundary microphone. I'm going to hook it up. It's a condenser. Why not? I'm going to plug it in, give it phantom power, and we'll see how it sounds.
Well, while you're doing that, he's open game now because when we go over this video, he's putting his name to it.
Oh, I haven't opened the line. Oh, that's way too loud. Wow, hot. Check. That's much better. There we go. Biodynamic condenser microphone. This is something you might screw into a conference table, but gets used by musos in bass drums because it's really dinky and you can chuck it in. It's a proper condenser. What do you reckon? How does this sound?
Sounds all right to me.
I think it's called a... I've got the box here. It's called a... It doesn't say on the box. Oh, here we go. It's called an MPC 23WS. I think the WS just stands for white. But yeah, biodynamic MPC 23. And it's they call it hemispherical, but it's basically just cardioid. So it's a cardioid condenser. I mean, you could use this as a microphone. I think a lot of people do because they're cheap. It's just a cheap way of getting a condenser. Anyway, I like biodynamics. I have no idea the sounds because I'm not monitoring this, but shouldn't really do it on a live show. So this is the sound of the biodynamic. Oh, it's probably all distorted and weird because I had the Neumann open at the same time. There we go. That's just the biodynamic now. How's that sound, Neil?
Well, sounds good to me. How's it sound on YouTube, though?
No idea. Let's swap back to the Neumann. So this is our sound normally. This is my Neumann. Okay, well, that's that done. Good. At least it works. Hopefully it sounded fine. We'll find out from a live audience if it doesn't. I'll check the other one in a minute, the Sony. But yeah, we will get to Disgruntled Danny. I suppose I should be setting the audience on their task before we lose track of Disgruntled Danny and his actual YouTubingness. You know what I mean? Like getting people to go and actually say hello to him and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Oh, why isn't my window scrolling? Okay, well, for whatever reason, Disgruntled Danny is locked up. Oh, it doesn't want to play ball. Play? Will it rewind? Will it do anything? No, clearly not. How marvellous. I'll see if I can get Disgruntled Danny back, but for the time being, no video. Just doesn't want to play. My live show's still going out, okay?
Yeah, I just was on the YouTube. It's still going through. Let me check again.
No, it's okay. I got everything's come back. It's all good. Right, let's get this guy's link. So the guy we're going to be covering today is called, in case you haven't figured that out, Disgruntled Danny. So I'm going to put a link to his videography. It's the second channel, I do believe, Disgruntled Danny 2, that I'm going to put a link in the live stream chat now. Let's just put a chat feed on screen as well, so you can see that I am actually doing this, as opposed to just saying it. There we go. So that's going to be winging its way by now. A link to the video that we're covering today, which is called The Flat Earthers Are Back, open brackets, Disgruntled Danny. So let's bring that up for Neil to be able to see as well. Look at that, even with a lot on, I'm still kind to you, Neil. Showing you in the Hangout. You say you've got the people on the case. Where are they while I'm checking microphones?
I can only send messages out. Now, if they see them and come, they come. But I hit up about QE, I hit up Paula, I hit up Brian, I hit up. I sent about 6 or 7 messages out. Give it time.
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, this is the dude. What we covered in the pre-show up until now was just his musings and stereotype fallacies about flat earthers and what they'd be like. And as I said, to offer a bit of empathy, I've kind of agreed with him to a certain degree. Would you not agree, Neil? I've kind of suggested to the Discord and yourself that we can be nice to this guy. As in, he's not Simon Dan, he's just an onlooker. And while he might be projecting his pain, that doesn't mean we've got to be too nasty to him. But we will point out the egregious errors he's making, and he is pretty ignorant of this subject, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
My God, it's locked up again. I think it's because I've got too much on screen. There we go.
Move your thumb, I piss off forever, you never have to see nor hear from me again.
Well, this is definitely him projecting his fears and concerns out onto the audience when he says, just don't come and talk to me, flat earthers. In other words, I want to spew hate about you, flat earthers, and I don't want to have to deal with the reaction to it. So go away. That's what he's just basically said.
Next up, from past experience, angry flat earthers love leaving very long, very abusive comments.
You're making a very long, abusive video, so this is pure projection, isn't it? Right, this is you reaching out to flat earthers in video form and moaning about how they leave long form responses.
Yeah, but that's an error, Nathan. They shouldn't do that. They should just invite him to have a conversation. Just invite him to the show.
Oh, I don't do that. I just corrected him where he was wrong, where he used flat earth measurements. For instance, in this video, he talks about flight paths, maintaining flight levels. Like what? Off a flat surface level, measured with altitude off flat Earth. Yeah, don't use our measurements to say Earth isn't flat. Very irritating. Just ignorant.
Comments in the comment section. Again, you're welcome to do that, but be aware, there are a few things I find funnier than knowing that someone has spent an hour of their finite time on God's earth to call me everything under the sun, which we are rotating around.
No, we're not. That's a Copernican reification. So when you say we're moving around the sun, no, that's described from within the centre of a sphere Earth, derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun and to the stars, off a flat plane, then put into motion by Copernicus. Now, in order to experience this motion, you need to be in the centre of a sphere Earth. Look at any depiction of an orbital motion, and you'll see the line of motion around the sun as you've just described it, going through the middle of the globe Earth in that depiction. That's because your description comes from the equatorial plane, aka described in hell, in the centre of a ball Earth. But the original measurements come from a flat plane, measuring stars and the sun and their movement. The angle representation of those lights in the sky measured with respect to a plane, taken and put into mathematical terms by Copernicus, reified into actuality by yourself, Danny. Now, you don't know any better. You don't know that you're reifying Copernican maths that takes place in the centre of hell after measuring a flat Earth for elevation angles to these lights in the sky for Copernicus to utilise those very same measurements to suggest that we have orbital motion. Something you are obviously ignorant of. Now, that's not me calling you names. That's me taking the time out of my day to educate you, a clown who doesn't know anything about your own religion. Yeah? Roll on the clown music. Dun, 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 dun. This man thinks he's in hell, moving around the sun. No, you've reified a concept that's obviously far too complicated for you to actually understand. Copernican orbital motion? No, that's not described from the surface of your reification of a ball that you think you're standing on. Au contraire, that's described from within hell. Now let's just see if the stereotype generalisation of all flat earthers being ignorant fools who would call you names is true of my panel. Discord and G+, were you aware of orbital motion not being capable of reification because of its necessity to run through the centre of a ball Earth, taken from flat Earth measurements to the stars in the first place? Were we all aware of this?
I don't think so.
You weren't aware of orbits
Oh,
working
were we
from hell?
aware of it? I thought you said, was he aware of it?
I'm
No,
asking
we're
if you're aware. I'm getting a general straw poll because he's suggesting that we're all idiots that rave insults at people like Danny because he's made a video saying that flat earthers are wrong, and when he makes a baseless assertion about moving around the sun in an orbital motion, my retort is to describe how that's not capable of reification because it moves through hell. I'm asking if you understand that, Neil.
Yes, of course. I understand that, but he doesn't. He's ignorant. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Check. Can you hear me? Check. Check one.
Little
Check one.
low.
Well, we're on the Sony now. I just want to check this while I've got the chance. I've got so many things going on. I've got too much stuff. Right, so this is the Sony that I was talking about earlier. Might as well show it off. How's it sound? Any good?
It's okay. Not as good as the other one that you had.
Of course not. The other one was a proper biodynamic, condenser mic. This is like a cheap and cheesy 80s plastic handheld dynamic cardioid. I mean, the only thing it's really got going for it is a proper cardioid mic, right? Yes, Nathan. So this is the Sony FV07T, and it's a cardioid dynamic handheld stage microphone from the 1980s. And this is how it sounds. Pretty good, huh? Yes, Nathan.
Mr.
The Sony
Mr.
sounds more muffled, I think.
Yeah, Mr. in Discord says sounds a bit low.
Ah, well,
in
I didn't
chat.
level it up. As long as it made sound, I'm happy. I'll check it afterwards. If it needs boosting in post, I'll do that. There we go. There's my eBay ads done. Keeping the mortgage paid. That's what it's all about.
For me to just click delete and that comment is gone forever.
Yeah, that's true. But I can broadcast a response to you, Danny, and then it won't be gone forever because you've clicked go away on a comment on your video. You know, the world doesn't revolve around you. Other people have got lives. Other people can make video responses to your garbage and nonsense and point out how bleeding ignorant you are of your own religion. Hey, Adam. Hey, Nathan. Good to be... Well, it's not good to know, you know. Good to...
Hey, how you doing? How to get off
And
Discord?
lastly, and most importantly, flat earthers. Just because you don't understand something...
Again, more pure projection. So you've just described orbital motion as something that you could experience, you going around the sun. Now, it's not capable of reification. It comes from hell. Just because you don't know something, Danny, doesn't mean you have to talk about it in a YouTube video and then project your own ignorance onto the audience that's going to take you apart. Right, I'm going to take you to the absolute woodshed here. We're going to have a right laugh at you and your complete ignorance of your own religion. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But you won't be
Now
able to
you
just
see
click
it-
delete on it. My God, I'm being interrupted by Neil, of course. Did it sound like I got to the end of that sentence, Neil, much? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you want help or not? Because I'll just go to freak on mute. What I was going to say is, he's saying we don't understand, but you're going to clearly see how he don't understand his own rhetoric.
Yes, thank you for that summary in the middle of my sentence.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. For example, my mobile phone. I have no bastard idea how it works.
Really? Is that so? Okay. I don't know what to say, Danny. Maybe look into semiconductors?
It amazes me that all of us now carry around in our pockets these tiny machines with more computing power than NASA had for the entire space shuttle program. As far as I'm concerned, when I plug it in to charge at night, it's just topping up the witchcraft. No,
Oh, really? I mean, you've just projected how people who don't understand things shouldn't be talking about them, and now you're talking about a phone that you don't understand. I mean, again, this is pure projection in the most crude sense, because you've summarised your own projection immediately after projecting it. You're ignorant of how a phone works, right? Okay, so why exclaim that you're topping up the witchcraft? You're not.
nonetheless, I know it's here, I know it's real.
So is that, what, a false comparison fallacy, where because you understand that phones are real, even though you don't understand they work, flat earthers don't understand your globe earth rhetoric that you failed to reify correctly when you suggested that orbital motion was something you could experience, and therefore that's real by false comparison fallacy? That was a lot to unpack, Danny.
Right, let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. There's quite a lot to unpack before we even started, really, wasn't there? Quite a few false comparison fallacies, stereotyping fallacies, basis assertion fallacies. Any more? Did I miss any?
Let's talk about airplanes, flights, and how they actually help prove the flat Earth. 1,000 meters high in just 1 hour. But here's the thing, pilots don't do that with a flat Earth. So next time you fly, look out the window and ask.
They don't need any of this garbage from the Feast of Nonsense on TikTok when it comes to flights, right? We'll be using some of Danny's standards when it comes to flights, so we don't need to watch this garbage.
Ask yourself,
These are just Danny, looking for the lowest possible hanging fruit to attack.
are we really on a spinning ball? Or are airplanes quietly proving the flat Earth every single day?
Chewy, nutty, and yummy. Get deliciously uplifted by the taste of our fruit and nut bars.
I
Eat
might just
natural,
do that.
deliciously uplifting.
Are they really?
This is what it's like to travel on your terms with Hertz. Less time waiting.
Feels great.
Where to even begin? Yes,
Start with measurements, Danny. Start with how Earth is measured. As you're asking. Rhetorically, I appreciate, but I'll use the opportunity nonetheless. We start with measurements of Earth. That's where we'll begin. They're flat. Every single one of them, always without exception. You'll be using a few of them, Danny. We'll count them off as you do so.
everything is contained within the atmosphere.
Contained, did you say? Within an atmosphere, that's air. Sorry, atmosphere, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air is not a container to contain anything. Air, gases, atmo, would take the shape of its containment. Now, you can find out that very simple principle if you had a higher education standard. Like PV equals nRT would require the V, Danny. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe this is beyond your P brain where you think that plugging in a phone is topping up the witchcraft. But you will need volume to calculate containment of gases. Atmo in this case. Oxymoronic atmosphere would be sphere-shaped air. Gases don't take sphere shapes. They take the shape of their containers.
Hence, speed is relative. Now,
sorry, hence speed is relative because oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. That was non sequitur. That made no sense.
To use flat Earth logic...
Sorry, what flat Earth logic would you be using? Would this be you about to use the second stereotyping fallacy where you invent a straw man to burn by stereotyping us with some flat Earth logic? Is there a flat earther next to him? Did anybody notice a flat earther telling him something?
I'm going to use that term extremely loosely.
Yeah, because you're about to strawman us, Danny.
If we use the analogy of an aeroplane, for a flat earther, everyone on board would be killed instantly. The damn thing's doing 500 miles an hour.
Sorry, 500 miles an hour is a linear speed extrapolation from a flat linear distance that's only capable of description with respect to a plane. Miles, Danny, are flat. You're going to tell us how stupid flat earthers are because they're travelling at a linear speed and distance with respect to a plane, like miles can only be and miles per hour can only describe? You stupid retard, Danny. Yeah? Were you dropped on your head? You stupid idiot who thinks that phones get topped up with witchcraft. They don't, Danny. And miles are flat, you retard. Why the fuck are you, a spastic who was clearly dropped on his head, using fucking flat earth distances to say that flat earthers are stupid? You're using flat earth miles, you total retard. Yeah, this isn't going to be like one of those comments you can just delete, you stupid spastic. Don't use our flat earth miles, you total wanker. Those will only ever be capable of being measured or described on a plane. Miles, kilometres, distance, hectares, acres. These are all flat, Danny, you total spastic. What kind of a fucking upbringing did you have? Did your mother beat you? Did you get dropped, boy? Were you made thick by your careless parents? Because miles are flat, you fucking retard. Do you hear me, Danny, you total spastic? Delete that.
35,000 feet up in the...
Sorry, 30,000 feet off a flat plane, much fucktard. 35,000 feet is an altitude off a flat plane. It's off sea level. Off surface level. You're going to give me a flat earth height and tell me that flat earthers are stupid? You're stupid, Danny. You're a... Let's just go on camera so I can do it with as much joy as I can muster for Danny's pleasure live. You, Danny, are a retard. You're suggesting Earth isn't flat with a flat Earth height above sea level? No, Danny, you complete clown who was obviously dropped on his head by his parents. You can't use flat Earth heights above sea level to say that Earth isn't flat. You'll need a flat Earth for it, you stupid clown. My name's Nathan Oakley. Yeah, I make comments in your videos, don't I? I notice you've gone to TikTok rather than me. You're acutely aware of me. I was the one to tell you to put your adverts on. I think you'll remember. I see you got those ads turned on there, Danny. Good boy. Yeah, very obedient. Meanwhile, you're using a height off sea level to suggest that flat earthers are stupid. No, Danny, you are the stupid one. A retard using heights off a surface level known as sea level. That's what altitudes are. Up, as you put in quotes, is only ever capable of description off a flat plane. Don't use our heights, don't use our distances, and don't use up, you stupid retard. My name's Nathan Oakley. It's a pleasure doing business with you.
The sky. Now, if you try to sit on the wings of an aeroplane, that would be problematic, but in...
Sorry, did somebody suggest that we'd sit on the wings of an aeroplane when generating lift with respect to a horizontal plane of reference, measured with altitudes there, Danny? Is this just a stupid batshit insane straw man that you're attempting to burn while I call you a retard? I think it is. Now, I'm not suggesting we sit on the wings. I'm suggesting that you're a retard because you're using flat Earth heights off surface level to say Earth isn't flat. You're using flat Earth linear miles to say that flat Earthers are stupid, and what that's getting is me responding to you and calling you a fucking retard. Because you are. Don't use our stuff, Danny. You'll get called a retard.
Side, of course. It's a sealed environment.
Sorry, what, the atmosphere oxymoronic sphere-shaped air-sealed environment, Danny? No. Atmo means air. Air's a gas, and gases take the shape of their container. You don't have containment from oxymoronic sphere-shaped air, Danny. You don't have a container. Gases fill the availability of volume. Gas fills space, Danny. It's a law of nature. It's called entropy. Look it up. Oh, why does my video keep locking up?
Everything is moving at the same speed. Once a plane gets up to cruising altitude, you can't even tell the fucking thing's moving.
Sorry, what? Have you ever been on a plane? You think that once you achieve cruising altitude, you don't know you're moving? I used to be a rep. I've flown all over the world. You absolutely, without question, know you're moving. Are you insane? You think that the Jamiroquai title is applicable here? Travelling without moving isn't real, you stupid retard. People who are on planes know they're fucking moving, you spastic. Meanwhile, you're using linear distances and heights off surface level in this example. You're measuring a flat Earth to say it ain't flat, retard.
So yes, although the Earth is rotating at around 1,000 miles an hour or...
Sorry, rotating in terms of an angular velocity delivered in a miles per hour linear speed? I'm going to go with no, because your axial rotation is also described with respect to a plane of reference. Yeah, we've covered this already with orbital motion. You'll need a plane to describe orbits and axial rotation, you stupid retard who does not know his own bleeding religion. Eli. Hey, Eli.
Hey, guys. What's up,
Hey,
Nathan?
hey. Sky. Off a flat plane.
I told you, Nathan, if you build it, they will come.
What, we building a bar? We're having a party? What are we building?
No, that's, you know that movie I'm talking about.
Bowel movement?
He said that in Hey Arnold, too. The weird kid with the big nose, on the one episode, he says, if you plant it, they will grow. Remember that episode?
That was Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. If you build it, they will come.
1,600 kilometers per hour. So...
mate, you keep giving us these linear distances, yeah?
So is everything else in this sealed environment, hence...
Right, you just keep asserting that we've got a sealed environment. Atmosphere? That's an oxymoron. Air isn't containment.
We don't feel it. Today there's barely a breeze in the air. How do flat earthers cope with seasons? The idea that we're also orbiting the sun.
No, we're not, Danny. That's a Copernican motion that's described after you reify what is a flat Earth angle measurement of the sun taken with respect to a plane, put into mathematical orbital motion with respect to the centre of hell. Now, that isn't something you can physically reify to describe experiencing. Now, if you had the slightest idea how your Copernican religion worked, that is to say you'd done some research into it, you'd understand the lack of ability of reification when it comes to Copernican orbital motion. You can't experience this, Danny. You just don't know your own religion and how it works.
Please explain that, flat earthers.
Oh, what? The angles of elevation utilised with respect to the stars and sun to give you Copernican orbital motion. Explain that to you. I think I'd struggle. You're a fucking retard. Yeah? You think your phone tops up with witchcraft, retard? You think I'm going to be able to explain advanced heliocentric orbital motion to you? You're a fucking retard. How am I going to explain advanced heliocentrism to you? No, dickhead. You think you're on the surface of that ball Copernican orbital motion runs through when you describe going around the sun. You're a retard. Educating you isn't on the table. You're not communicable in that manner. You're too stupid.
Are you just going to say, well, the Almighty, he turns the oven up a bit in the...
Is that what I said when I explained advanced orbital motion and Copernicus measuring angles off a plane to stars and the sun? Did I say Earth got turned up like an oven by God? Is that what you hoped I would say? No, I called you a fucking retard, Danny. Yeah? That's what I did. I broadcast to a live audience so I didn't stutter or stammer like you do when you're pre-recording this shit with all your outtakes. Yeah, I can do this live. I can call you a fucking retard to a live audience and say you haven't got the slightest clue how advanced orbital heliocentric motion works. And there'd be no educating you in it, Danny. You're just too stupid.
Summer months. And above the clouds is just empty space?
According to your religion, yeah, 10 to the minus 17 Tor sky vacuum. Why are you projecting that which you don't understand, that's a 10 to the minus 17 Tor sky vacuum, in your religion of heliocentric Copernican motion, that you've reified yourself to be on, not in? You stupid retard dropped on his head by his careless parents. Yeah? Is this how you thought this went, Danny, when you published this video? Did you think you'd just tell the flat earthers not to engage with you and that you could delete their comments? Did you think you'd have Nathan Oakley doing a live stream pointing out how unbelievably stupid you are when you fail to comprehend the actual motion of orbits? Did you think that's how it'd go when you publish this garbage? Nah, well, obviously not, because what's actually occurring is you've got me, Nathan Oakley, full of disdain, obviously most of it being hammed up for a live audience, calling you a fucking retard. Justifiably so, because you don't understand your own bleeding religion of Copernican orbital motion taking place from within a ball on a plane. Dumbass that doesn't understand his own bleeding religion. Definitely not how you thought it'd go, eh, Danny?
No, Flurfers, it isn't. The atmosphere is there. It goes up...
What, the container atmosphere? The oxymoronic sphere-shaped air gases disperse into space. It's a law of nature, the second law of thermodynamics. This fucking retard, that's what Danny is, a bearded retard, thinks that gases are containers. No, that would be you being a fucking retard. Like the kind of person with an organophiliac issue that feels they've got the right to wander into women's toilets. You're that kind of retard, Danny. A total retard. With mental issues. That's you. A spastic. Yeah, you understanding me, Danny? You're hearing me on FM, the type of retard you are.
For quite a long way. And if you want to get out of Earth's atmosphere...
What, the container? You just said it was a container, Danny. How are we going to get out of it if it's a container? Is it just a container when you want gases to not fuck off into space? Now we're going to be escaping it because it's not going to be containing the rocket ships that are going to be travelling through it. Let's see how stupid Danny is in contradiction.
And I mean properly out, not pissing about like Katy Perry did on Blue Origin. You need to be pulling some serious speed, around 17,500 miles per hour.
Sorry, for what? This is just some baseless assertion from some number you picked off some website. For what?
And this old argument that aircraft would have to constantly be putting their nose down so they didn't fly off in a fucking orbit. The plane gets up to its cruising altitude and just stays there.
What, it gets up to a height off a flat Earth surface level, reference to sea level, and just stays there? Yeah, we know, Danny. We've got pitch data that shows it. It proves Earth is measured flat with respect to the horizontal plane of reference and altitudes that are logged in the black boxes of aeroplanes daily. Earth's measured flat when they attain a height above surface level, sea level in this instance, to cruise at it. Yeah, they call it maintaining level flight. Do they call it maintaining curve fuckwit flight? No, they don't, Danny. It's because it's a flat Earth prerequisite to be in level flight. The Earth must be level to be parallel with it. They use the horizon to maintain that level flight, and we have accurate recorded data in the black boxes of aircraft that we utilise on a daily basis to call idiots like you out when they suggest that going up to a measured height of surface level is proving a ball somehow? No, retard. That would be a flat earth proof. And what's that? They don't need to nose down. Yeah, they absolutely fucking would if the earth was falling away at 8 inches per the mile squared. That would be having a geometric horizon that is what? So big we can't see it, Danny? The one that's inferred when you also measure your height off surface level. It's right there in the earth curve mass that you suggest we can't see. At 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet off surface level also, Danny. Yeah, your earth curve mass, the ones that you didn't understand. Earth's so big, right? That's also a height off surface level measurement. Earth's measured flat for earth curve. Earth's measured flat for cruising altitudes.
Once again,
hold on.
I like how he.
Go ahead.
I like how he doesn't have any globe evidence, but instead he has to make excuses for flat Earth evidence. Is the first thing he does.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell him that I was flying to Texas at a cruising altitude for about, I'd say, 2.5 hours, maybe 25,000 feet in the air. That's a long time. Where's your ball, Danny?
Yeah, we don't need to address his apologetics for there not being any curve to account for in suggesting that I would say your plane would fly off into space when it's not accounting for your curve you say we can't see when it's calculable in earth curve maths above surface level. Yeah, you're stupid on so many levels, Dan, it's untrue. This is unbelievably retarded considering you adhere to this religion that you don't understand. Why are you a globe believer? Notice I say believer. Yeah, me, I'm not a believer. When I say Earth is measured flat, I use examples from fuckwits like you, Danny. Like heights off surface level, for example. Like cruising heights. Those require my statement be true for you to use them as an example. So when I say Earth's measured flat, that's a fact. Not, well, yeah, Earth's measured flat, but that's because it's a really big ball. That's what a fucking retard would say when we measure Earth flat, but it's incongruent with their fucking spastic globe religion that you're trying to square the circle of in this stuttery, stammery video that you've had to edit together. Meanwhile, me, live, can rip you a new asshole and call you a spastic, because that's what you are, Danny. You don't seem to appreciate that you're constantly using flat Earth prerequisites to say that Earth isn't flat. Just like every other dumbass like yourself, who goes around projecting their ineptitude onto these flat earthers you make up to straw man with arguments that make no sense. Yeah, meanwhile, my name's Nathan Oakley. I'm the one that says, I don't have a belief in flat Earth. I know it's flat. I'll use your measurements, you retard. Like heights off surface level. Yeah, we'll definitely need a surface level that's flat to get them, for you to be telling us how stupid flat earthers are, Danny. In your batshit insane, backwards way that you are.
Can't see the curvature. Earth is rather big.
Oh, so it's not at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet calculable off a surface level that must be measured for your height of eye parallel with it, Danny. No, it's alleged to be at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. We debunked that in 2020. Like back when you were making fucking videos that nobody gave two shits about. And you thought that that's when Flat Earth was starting up. No, Danny, shocking. Earth has always been measured flat. And it always fucking will be, you stupid retard. And I will always be capable of looking down the barrel of a camera and calling you a fucking retard for not appreciating just how flat you've been using Earth this whole time. 'Cause you have, Danny, just like everybody. And when we point that out, you apologise and say, yeah, we measure it flat, 'cause it's so big. Yeah, we don't see curve of the horizon utilised in all practical terms for its flatness, because it's so big. Meanwhile, I just say, we measure Earth flat. You measure Earth flat when you give us the heights of an aeroplane off sea level.
If it were true that planes needed to constantly put their nose down, then...
if it was true that planes accounted for curve, what you're saying, Danny, is if it were true that we needed to account for Earth curve. They don't, Danny. We've got black box data from the NTSB, that's the National Transportation Safety Board, about as high as an authority can get when it comes to this stuff. Their black box data proves beyond all doubt, not that I'd need it, that the heights off surface level are measured and recorded off surface level. Shocking, innit? Yeah, we can show that with graphs and time and data. That's life and death information. That's what they're using it for, Danny. That would be the recorded flat Earth measured in black box altitude data. That would be them recording and measuring how flat Earth is. What's that, Danny? Us flat earthers think we'd have to nose down. No, spastic. You're trying to square the circle of why they don't. They don't because they're negotiating a base principle that requires they maintain flight level, yeah, off sea level for their eye level to be parallel with it. These are all principles that are axiomatically linked directly to Earth being a required flat plane. You see how my disdain is not for my belief in a flat Earth? It's for the fucking measurements you spastic globe believers use. You see how my disdain is for your use of our flat Earth measurements? Not about my belief in God that's turning an oven up. That would be idiotic straw men used by spastics, wouldn't it, Danny? Yeah, it would, Danny, yeah. That would be you, Danny, the spastic in this scenario. The one claiming that flat earthers say God turns the oven up, when in fact we say no, you are using surface level measurements off sea level for your flight.
And every pilot on the Earth would have to be in on the conspiracy.
Would he? Because every single pilot's got a flat black box, Danny. We can show you from the NTSB, buddy. In fact, it doesn't matter what the pilot says. They're not the ones recording and measuring anything, now are they? Now, they do negate the Earth with the axiomatic principles they use in their gyroscopes to not crash into the ground. Yeah, but we've got actual recorded data from black boxes, Danny, and it proves beyond all certitude. Not that we'd need to, it axiomatically gets linked to it. Earth is flat. Yet we're maintaining flight levels parallel with surface level called sea level, measured with altimeters. Yeah, these are measurements of a flat Earth, Danny. I don't need any belief. Like your stupid idiot belief in orbits that you don't understand? Yeah? Dropped on your head much?
However, the thing I love about flat Earth...
The thing I love about retard globers is they're comparable to idiots with mental disorders like organophiliacs. Like people who are so insane they think that even though they've got a penis, they can stroll into a woman's toilet. This man, this Danny retard, he's comparable to those people with mental illnesses. Just an idiot! Like he's got something wrong with his brain. Now I can say that with utter factual disdain because it's true. It's been demonstrated here with his stupid stereotypes, with his stupid baseless assertions, and his total and utter ignorance of his own bleeding religion.
Is how confident they are.
Yeah, what with the surface level being parallel with eye level in those black boxes? Yeah, I'm supremely confident you're the one using it here, Danny. It's me using your example as my standard. It's amazing how I get to really rub in your face your standard you measure Earth flat with. Isn't that amazing how confident I can be with your standard of evidence that I'm using here? Yeah, I can be, can't I? I can really grin about me using your evidence. Yeah? I can really rub your face in it. Yeah? Like, really rub your face in it. Call you a spastic while I rub your face in your own flat earth standards you've been using there, Danny. Yeah, I'm very confident. My name's Nathan Oakley. I am 100% supremely confident that I'm currently rubbing your dumbass retarded face in your own flat earth measurements you've used in this very video. Yeah, I'm very confident. Shocking, innit?
Nathan.
With their hair.
Yes, go ahead.
Aren't we supposed to be taking it a little easy on this guy?
Yeah, that was done for parody effect early on. People will be getting that right late on now. That I'm not at all taking it easy on him. Like I've let every barrel loose, right? You can have it all, Danny, every barrel, because you lay into the trans community on a daily basis and seem to get away with it. And yet here you are, a spastic. Who knew that the whole time you were laying into the trans community, you were just a wanker, a retard, ignorant of your own religion, a spastic with a mental illness, comparable to an autogynephiliac? Who knew? I knew. I knew it was just a matter of time. And then I could address this stuttery spastic on a live show for his misapprehension of his own fucktard globe religion that he uses flat earth measurements for. Yeah, I knew it was only a matter of time before I could address this spastic. I knew it'd come around eventually. He's just like all the rest of them. He can't wait to tell us how stupid we are. Well, get this, Danny, you fucking retard. You're the spastic here. You don't know anything about your own goddamn religion and you're telling me how stupid I am while I rub your face in your height off surface level in these planes you're addressing. You'll need a flat earth for them and so will everybody. It's recorded in the flight data.
Harebrained ideas, as if they've discovered something that the most brilliant minds haven't.
What, like the brilliant minds that recorded the flat earth information in those black boxes that save lives on a daily basis, Danny? Are you decrying the very important and life-altering information that's acquired in the NTSB data? Do you have any idea how dangerously close you are to, I can't quite believe I'm going to say it, pouring scorn on the dead? Are you really going to do this, Danny? Because I don't know, I think I'm going to take quite a high degree of offence here. Because if you're going to suggest for 1 second that the people who record the accurate flat earth affirming data in those black boxes are wrong, then it seems like you're suggesting that all of those life and death investigations that the NTSB have taken part in weren't correct when they took the height off surface level as read and true in the data that they acquired from their own black boxes. Are you suggesting that they're wrong, Danny? Because that would be very distasteful, considering the amount of lives that are lost and investigated by the NTSB. So I would be very careful about what you say in regards to just how flat Earth is measured. Because if you, for 1 second, Danny, take it upon yourself to suggest that these flat Earth measurements aren't correct, I'll be the first stepping in line to point out that you're pouring scorn on a lot of dead people. There's a lot of lives that have been lost and investigated by the NTSB, Danny. And they're using flat Earth information. That's not an if, but, or maybe. It's not some retarded notion from an idiot upside-down head who was dropped on it by his parents. No, these are life and death facts when I say Earth's measured flat by the NTSB. Now, don't for 1 second think it's not going to be taken seriously if you infer in any way that these absolutely without question flat Earth affirming measurements from the NTSB are wrong. And I'd agree that the geniuses that acquire this measurement of pitch in pitch data for NTSB acquisition when investigating life and death scenarios, that is absolutely without question 100% accurate and flat Earth affirming. So don't pour scorn on the dead here, Danny. You've got to be careful what you do. Ah, typical my PC's graphics card's got to be hanging or something because I've got so many windows open. All about the timing. There we go.
As if the brilliant scientists at NASA have...
Right, scientists at NASA. There is no science at NASA. That's just a strapline they use for an email address.
...missed something that Janine, who works 3 afternoons a week on the...
Right, who's Janine? Is this imaginary flat earther that you're strawmanning? Is Janine the imaginary flat earther? No, Danny, my name's Nathan Oakley. I'm the one taking your measurements of a flat earth and rubbing your face in them. And my name's not Janine. It's Nathan Oakley. Remember it. Remember this day. It's the day you were demonstrated a fucktard by me. Nathan Oakley.
The fish counter at Asda has worked out...
Oh, is that what you want? You want it to be Janine at Asda? No, mate, definitely not. No, what you want my resume statement? No, I've travelled the world. I've been a rep. I've been on planes, and I was acutely aware of their movement.
...out for herself. And
I've never worked at a fish counter. I did temporarily do deliveries because as a rep I was driving around in quite fast cars, and then as a transitional job I did grocery deliveries in a van. Rear-wheel drive, it was quite good fun. So I could move into YouTube full time.
any flat earthers watching?
That's me. I'm a flat earther. I'm definitely watching Danny. This won't be deleted with a little quick click of your mouse. My name's Nathan Oakley, in case you hadn't figured that out.
If the Earth is flat, please
I don't think it. I know it. I'm using your measurements to prove it.
explain this.
I don't need to explain anything. Yeah, you making demands of me can paint my fucking house, Danny. Yeah, I'm not making demands of you. I'm telling you, your standards are flat earth proving. So I don't need to ask you to do anything, do I? I could demand you paint my house. I do that for fun. Yeah?
Why does every
sorry.
long haul...
Go ahead. Just before you do, he's just brought up a flat map, transverse Mercator that's flat. Just pointing that out.
Yeah. First off, good morning.
Hey, Chocolate.
Second of all, good. Hey, what's up? Second off, he's addressing flat earthers, but when I got here, the first thing I heard him say was it's too big to measure the curve. It's literally the first thing I heard out of this guy's mouth out of this video. So addressing flat earthers, you seem to be one yourself, my friend. So talking to yourself much. Anyway.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's using a flat transverse Mercator map. This is a flat globe projection produced by hemispherical flat Earth measurements of stars to create the, what would you call it when the circles get bigger? Concentric circles derived from Polaris measurement. This system, the grid on this transverse Mercator that he's got up on screen, is derived from flat Earth elevation measurements in the first instance to Polaris. Now, he doesn't fucking know that. You don't know that, do you, Danny? You're a fucking retard. Meanwhile, your flat Earth map that you've got up that's flat, that's not ball-shaped, was derived from angle measurements to Polaris in the first instance. It's made with flat Earth angle measurements, you fucking retard. Would Janine on the fish counter have got away with it? Just in case anybody doesn't appreciate this, right? If you met me in person, I'd be exactly like this. I'd be right up in Danny's face going, you're a fucking retard. I'm not Janine on the fish counter, retard. I'm the one telling you that flat Earth measurements are a prerequisite in all instances. That's how I'd be in person. Telling you you're a fucking retard. Now, you want to imagine that it's Janine on the fish counter that you can look down on. That wouldn't be the case if we were to ever meet, though, Danny. I'd be calling you a fucking retard. But, like, why are you making videos talking about autogynephiliacs and taking the piss out of trans when you're a fucking retard and you don't understand your own religion? That's how I talk to you, Danny. Yeah? Just so we're clear how I'd communicate with you, a retard, about you and your spastic religion. That's how I'd talk to you. It wouldn't be like communicating with Janine on the fish counter is the point. You'd have me, 6'2" of me, right up in your face, all of my saliva spraying on you while I'm asking you why you're a fucking retard using a flat Earth transverse Mercator map to say that Earth ain't flat. That's what you'd get, dickhead. Me. Not Janine.
Whole flight plan look like this.
Sorry, the flight plan that describes with measurements the heights off surface level when straight and level in flight. This is a flat map, you stupid fucking retard.
Why aren't they just straight lines?
Who gives a shit? It's a flat map. And it's been created using a measurement of Polaris to create that grid. Now, you haven't got the slightest idea how they convert any of the measurements of the stars to create this map, have you? Again, this is why I'd be up in your face if we were up in front of each other. Yeah? It wouldn't be Janine cowering with you also smart because you're not a flat earther. It would be me going, where the fuck did this map come from, you spastic? Where do you think they got the measurements for the lines on the grid? Do you know, retard? That's what you'd have. Me with every ounce of fury, saliva spraying on you, asking where you got your flat Earth map from. Because that's what this is. It's a flat map of Earth. So you want to say, why does this do that on it? Who gives a shit? It's flat. And everything about it and how it came into existence utilised measurements of a flat plane. Now, you haven't got a fucking clue. You don't know how this map was made, do you? You are a spastic. Mentally ill. You think you've got the right to start talking about this subject when you've done the slightest, half a day's research on it? You're going to throw up a flat map and ask how something works on it? Why don't you find out, retard? Why didn't you research how it fucking worked? Instead of asking flat earthers. It's because you're too fucking lazy to research. Yeah? A spastic, too lazy to find out how this fucking map was made. That's flat, by the way. How this flat map was made. So you're going to turn around and ask flat earthers why it doesn't do or does do something on a flat map? Oh, what a genius. Yeah, you're doing really well, Danny. Doing really well with Janine, a.k.a. Nathan Oakley, ripping you a new asshole for a live audience. It's almost like you can just delete the fucking comments, isn't it?
I'll give you a clue.
What, you'll give me a clue? I don't think you've got one, Danny.
All right, let's talk
I'm pretty
about it.
certain of that fact. You haven't got half a clue, mate. I'm having to educate you, and I think you'd be struggling just to listen.
It's because the thing that the planes are flying over...
over and measured flat? Heights? Level flight? Yeah, I'm the one rubbing your stupid dumbass face in your own flat earth evidence, dickhead.
Isn't flat.
Oh, is it not? So why the fuck are the NTSB measurements flat then? Spastic. Are you suggesting that every life that's been risked and saved and investigated wasn't looking at a flat earth prerequisite in the form of those flat earth measurements off surface level? You're telling me sea level isn't level? Yeah, it is. It's got to be for eye level to be parallel with it. For you to remain in level flight and measure your height off it. Yeah, what are you going to do? Ask me why you don't go off into space? Because Earth's flat. As per the measurements. Danny? Hello? It's your standard, idiot.
It's spherical.
Really? Like in the measurements? No. That's just your dumb fuck baseless assertion based on your religion you don't know much about.
I'm sorry. Is he now mitigating for his mitigation? Because, again, the first thing I heard him say was it's rather big. So now it's spherical?
It's
now
rather
it's
big.
not too big to measure the curve.
Not too big to measure the curve, but why would we need to negate for it in a plane? We don't need to.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because we don't negate any curve in planes. We fly over a flat Earth. We measure it flat. We can prove it. We've got NTSB pitch data to prove it. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about this. Your batshit insane belief by baseless assertion that they fly over a curve but wouldn't need to correct for it is just fucking idiotic, Danny. Like, idiotic like a kind of retard that would walk into a lady's toilet with a penis. That kind of fucking retard. You, a spastic.
Technically, it's a geoid. I don't need to split hairs.
You don't know what that means. You just looked it up. It's just a buzzword you've thrown into your stupid shithead video. You haven't got a clue what that means. Go ahead, whoever that was. Could have swore I had chocolate. Go on.
Gravity is real. Why do helium balloons go up instead of down?
According to aircraft, combat pilots know all about...
Let's question everything. Follow for more.
Well, fuck me roughly with a prize-winning carrot. They're now claiming that gravity doesn't exist.
Sorry, who are they? Let's just give this fuckwit a few retard quotes from his own spastic side. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote. Brian Cox. Gravity is not a force, end quote. George Musa, editor of Scientific American. Now, what that statement that Danny just said tells me is that he didn't get past high school level in terms of his education in heliocentrism, because he seems to be under the misapprehension that gravity is a force. He'll later jump up and down to prove it, because he's a fucking retard. Yeah, it hasn't been a force that would pull you to the ground in 110 years, Danny. Yeah. Is this like you thought it'd be? Am I Janine off the Fitch counter when I say, quote, Cox? There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. Or gravity is not a force, end quote, Musa, editor of Scientific American. Is that me just being Janine on the fish counter? Go ahead, whoever that is.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, even if gravity did exist, it could only be with respect to an inertial plane as a force, or as a pseudo-force, a non-inertial plane. So which one is it, Danny? Do you believe there's flat and stationary, or do you believe flat and rising up?
Asking him to describe the downward vector with respect to an inertial plane for gravity as a force is so far over Danny's pathetic spastic brain, it doesn't even get worth mentioning by me. No offence to you, it's absolutely correct. For a spastic down force of gravity that's 110 years out of date, he will need a flat plane for that. He just won't comprehend anything that you and I have just discussed, John. Willie.
But also to claim that there's something happening in nature. Where's the observable phenomenon of everything being pulled to the ground?
That assertion went out of date.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Gases don't do that. And it's out of date.
Yeah, it hasn't been asserted to be the case for 110 years. It's called the Newtonian force of gravity, superseded by Einsteinian bent pseudo-Riemannian geometry 110 years ago. It just gives away, and why wouldn't we expect this? But he's not educated in this subject beyond a high school level. That's what it is. R.I.P. Rotoox. You'll be missed. Oh, how sad. Did anybody know that? Yeah.
Yes, and he wanted to be an affiliate with your book, so that makes it even more sad.
Yeah,
You need
very
to get
sad.
this book done.
Roto passed away.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
man.
fighting cancer for
Yes.
ages. How sad. Thank you for the super chat,
R.I.P.,
Godzilla. I
man.
did not know that. How depressing. I'm going to round out on that note. That is incredibly sad. Right, with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
Anyway, this guy's a chief numpty here, this Danny guy.
It could
Never
be an
been measured.
Illuminati purge.
Say again?
Nothing is. I thought you were still rounding out. It was in bad taste. I shouldn't have said it. Go ahead.
What did you say? Go on. Oh, fair enough. You're not going to repeat it. Oh, good show.
He said something about an Illuminati curse.
I don't know what that means. Fair enough.
I didn't say nothing about a curse. I'm not repeating it.
Do we have a bit more? Should we round out this? Not very much more of this video.
I'm fairly certain I am currently experiencing 1G. And again,
No, gravity's not a force. Yeah? It hasn't been a force for 110 years. You can think of it as a force. But it's not. It's a bent pseudo-Riemannian geometry. Yeah, geometries won't pull, push, or give rise to any forces, ever.
referring to aircraft, combat pilots know all about the forces of gravity.
No, they don't. There is no force of gravity. You're a fucking retard.
And then asking the question, why does the helium balloon float?
No, I'm asking a question. Why would you be asserting there's a fucking force of gravity when it hasn't been the case for 110 years? Oh, it's because you're a retard. Yeah? A dumbass, a dumb fuck. Poorly educated, ignorant. That's why.
And then they answer the bloody thing because helium is lighter than air. That doesn't mean that gravity doesn't...
Yeah, lighter than air. Sorry, it's a light gas, is it? Right? Yeah, air is a mixture of gases, including helium.
You know what's crazy? Isn't that like a red herring? Or is it a non sequitur? Because
non-sequitur.
Every time we talk about their claim being all things being pulled to the center, when they say, "Oh yeah, that's density. It's lighter than air," what does that have to do with your claim?
Absolutely nothing, which is why they bring it up. Because all of a sudden their claim means nothing, just because you just said something rose because it's lighter than air. So what happened to the gravity that you just said was pulling everything down? Oh, it's not happening.
Rising and falling are all with respect to plane of reference.
Yes, they are.
Oh dear.
Doesn't exist. Watch.
Yeah, what you just did was jump up and down, right? And to describe that motion will be described as I just described it, up and down, with respect to a plane of reference. That's how you describe that motion. But you're more dense than the air, and then you jumped up, putting energy into a system that you're a part of, to then have it reach equilibrium again, as it returned to whence it came, being more dense than the medium. Now, were you to fart, sir, do you think that would fall to the ground also? Do your farts have a tendency to form puddles, you fucking retard? Or do they spread out, letting everyone in your house know how dirty and stinky you are? Because that's what gases do. They spread out to fill their containment.
Then it's time for some good old-fashioned flat Earth NASA bashing. As if the flat...
No, we don't do that here. No, we talk about entropic dispersion. That's second law of thermodynamics, debunking everything NASA do. Literally everything. So we have no need to do any NASA bashing. Far from it.
Oh, hold on. Maybe he might start some NASA bashing, being that NASA likes to talk about how when they put vehicles in the air, they use the Earth as a flat, stationary, non-rotating plane. Maybe he has some things to say about that, because that's not us. That's NASA. The same ones who show you the picture of the cartoon ball you believe in, my friend.
Flat Earthers are going to expose NASA. Now, first up, they never explain who was keeping it secret that the Earth is allegedly flat, which it is.
Right, nobody's keeping it secret when we're measuring it that way. For instance, were you keeping it secret when you described the plane and its altitude for cruising in straight and level flight? Were you making it up, Danny? Yeah, this is me. Yeah, it's me rubbing your face in it, right? How stupid you are. That's what I'm doing. I'm not Janine, by the way. I'm Nathan.
Isn't it's round. Before 1958, when NASA was formed.
I also wanted to say the weird thing about Globers is that they do this really weird 5-year-old thing where they will double down on what they believe. They're like, like he just said, because it's not flat, it is round. And then they'll just continue. It's like that they have to assert that it's not flat and it is round. It's weird. Can you pull a J on that?
Before 1958, when NASA was formed. Then they make moronic arguments. I love the one there. Why do astronauts train in water? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I guess if you want to train in space...
This is pure projection. This is his concerns. They do this all the time. Like, flat earthers will talk about why they train in water. You mean you've come across some videos that look like NASA's training in water? They do. There's a submersion tank. Okay? So we definitely know they do that. And we also definitely know that the sky is not a vacuum. Gas would fill it. Like your farts. Yeah, it's not akin to you jumping up and down, by the way. Gases aren't solids. Nevertheless, we know entropic dispersion laws aren't being violated by NASA. So, gas still fills space. Doesn't involve us bashing anybody.
You can only truly do that if you go to space.
Yeah, if there was a second law of thermodynamics violating 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum above our heads, then we'd all be dead. Because the gas would be filling it. Like your farts fill your house, letting everybody know how stinky and dirty you are. That's what gas does. It's a law of nature. It spreads out to fill the volume available to it. In all instances, always, it's a law. Meanwhile, having a sky vacuum and available gas right next to it, yeah, that's a direct violation of that law of nature. Hence, we don't need to debunk anything NASA say. They operate in a Narnian area that doesn't exist, called space.
So, the next best thing, before flying out of the atmosphere...
Well, the containment that you suggested it would be. No, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air next to a sky vacuum you think they can travel to. No, mate, we're not travelling through wardrobes to Narnia. That's not going to happen, mate.
Is to do it in water.
Right, it's better that we rehearse these movements that are taking place in a second law of thermodynamics violating sky vacuum in water because it's better to do it that way. No, there is no sky vacuum to do it in. There's only the water. Go ahead, Chocolate.
Yeah, it's definitely better to train in the exact opposite environment that you're going to. I mean, that definitely works out.
It reminds me of The Simpsons, right, where Hollywood come to Springfield, and Bart goes up to one of the production team and says, "Why are you painting these horses black and white?" He says, "Because we want them to look like cows." He says, "Why don't you use cows?" "Because cows don't look like cows. We have to use horses."
It's literally the same thing, yes.
And those bubbles, they aren't bubbles. It's been debunked. That.
Look, if we need to rehearse for the 100-metre swim, I think we better do it in treacle. There's no point doing it in water. The best thing we can do is find some treacle to swim in.
Yeah. I mean, when you want to learn how to drive a race car, you're definitely doing it in a swimming pool and not on a race track. that I'm going to try that.
What's that you say? We're going to be travelling at 17,000 miles per hour? I think we should rehearse in a stationary pool.
That many fucking times. They may be tiny ice crystals or flecks of paint.
Oh, bless him. Oh, he's rattling off their excuses to the feast and nonsense garbage that other flat earthers put out there. Oh, there's flecks in these videos. We don't give a shit. We know they've come from the pool because there's no space vacuum for them to be in. They could only be in the pool. We know they're in it. You're justifying why there's little bubbles. Oh, bless. Are you falling down the hill of anti-flat earthism and ascribing some importance to this NASA garbage? The sky's not a vacuum, dickhead. If it was, we'd all be dead. The gas would fill the space. Oxymoronic sphere-shaped air is not a container that suddenly isn't containing when rockets are going into it.
This is the pain that you're hearing. The fact that he has to address all these little points right here. This is the painful part for them. This is why he's cursing and all mad and shit.
Yeah, this is him trying to square the circle as he projects it onto some random flat earther that isn't there, Janine.
Caught in the light. We're meant to take this seriously. There are some flat earthers who don't even believe that Australia exists. According to the conspiracy theory, because that's what it fucking is. If you go to
What? No. So when I say NTSB data, life and death data, do you think that's a conspiracy? I mean, again, I can easily take this somewhere you won't want it to go, Danny, which is to say, your suggestion that this is a conspiracy when I can show you measurements of Earth that have got people's deaths attached to them. Yeah, that's going to fucking shit all over this nonsense right quick when I start doing it with people who piss me off, Danny. They better not. Because you'll very quickly find yourself pouring scorn on the dead that have been investigated by the NTSB. If you start suggesting that this is just some conspiracy when we're dealing with measurements. Now, you're not dealing with these fucking retard flat earthers anymore. You're dealing with me. Yeah? And I'll make it real right quick when we're dealing with the measurements of Earth and how fucking life and death they really are. This is not a conspiracy. And if you're to suggest that the measurements that I'm using to prove by way of measurement that Earth is flat are anything other than flat Earth measurements, then you will be dragged down into the pits of hell as you pour scorn on hundreds, if not thousands, of lives that have been investigated by that very real, very serious authority that is known as the NTSB, Danny. Don't fuck around by calling it a conspiracy because you've dealt with a few spastics on TikTok. No. This will not stand.
Australia, and this will be a shock for everyone watching down in the penal colony, it's actually either...
No, just so we get this squared away, you're a fucking retard. Yeah? If you think that flat Earth is represented by spastics who say Australia isn't real, then you are so unbelievably stupid it is untrue. If you have swallowed this wholeheartedly and then regurgitated it on camera, which you have, this makes you so fucking thick it is untrue. You think this is me, do you, Danny? You think I think Australia is not fucking real? Is that what you think? No, you think Janine thinks that, some imaginary apparition you've made up to make yourself feel better. I know Australia's real, you fucking retard.
What about the Australian flat earthers? Do the Australian flat earthers
He's just a
believe in
fucking
flat Earth?
retard. This is just a pathetic pain relief straw man he's decided to burn. You fucking spastic, Danny. Yeah? You're as stupid as the people strolling into those ladies' toilets with penises. That's what you are, you're a fucking retard.
Or Spain, and every single Australian isn't...
This isn't us, Danny. Yeah? This is getting you called a spastic, though.
This is him, isn't it?
Yes.
This is what he would believe if he accepted it was flat.
Yeah, because he's got no basis of research, doesn't understand how measurements work, and if he was to be a flat earther, he'd be walking around thinking Australia wasn't real. This is pure projection. This is him projecting his own fucktardery onto the spastic flat earther he's created in his mind, and the flat earther he's created in his mind can only be as stupid as he is, because he's not capable of creating me in his mind, is he?
Yeah,
actor.
this is him curing the pain that he had to go through earlier by saying that it's rather big to measure the curve and to negotiate curve while flying. So now he has to go to, oh, let's just make flat earthers look stupid by saying some of them don't even believe Australia exists. Moron.
Yeah, crappy straw man that he's decided to burn. It's just making him look like a fucking retard. Oh, really? You thought flat earthers, stereotype fallacy, thought Australia wasn't real? Baseless assertion fallacy. Sounds like you're a bit stupid, mate. Did you really think that? You believe that, did you? Are you a bit of a spastic? Do you believe everything people tell you? Are you a fucking retard? Were you dropped on your fucking head? Because this makes you sound like a spacker. I mean, you put this out on video like a spastic. Makes me feel like you're just mentally retarded.
Played by NASA. How are we meant to believe that? Because surely by now, someone would have broken silence. And it also means that every fucking airline on Earth, the round Earth that's spinning, would have to be in on the conspiracy.
What the round Earth that they're not accounting for? Why would we think that we'd have to go off into orbits if we suddenly started nosing the plane down to account for the curve that isn't there in an orbital motion you can't reify? You're a fucking retard, Danny. There's nothing else we can say other than you are stupid.
And to take this ridiculous conspiracy theory further.
So, should I go to the NTSB with this, Danny? Should I say, excuse me, you see this black box data where you've got the pitch of the plane with respect to a horizontal reference in this data that you study life and death crashes with? It's a conspiracy according to a retard. What say you, NTSB, with your flat earth data? Yeah? Is it just a conspiracy when you're investigating these lives? Is that what it is, Danny? You fucking retard. No, it's you! You're the spastic here, Danny! It's not a fucking conspiracy, it's a measurement. Like the one you use when you describe straight and level flight measured off surface level. That's not a fucking conspiracy.
Is this one of these abject idiots, right, who thinks that flying in a direct, straight, horizontal line is accounting for curvature? Is that what we're dealing with here?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's saying, why wouldn't we? In other words, why would I, the globe believer, expect us to nose down? That's how he positioned it.
Yeah, maybe because you think you're on a globe, you idiot. My God, what an idiot.
Exactly. Why would they have to nose down, Danny? Because you think you're on a fucking globe, you retard?
They argue that what actually happened was, rather than people being transported to Australia, they were loaded onto British ships, taken beyond the horizon and thrown off the edge of the Earth. And yet, the idea that the Earth is flat is relatively new. But in the Western world, we're all told this story at school about...
Sorry, baseless assertion much. No, the idea that it's flat is proven throughout history with every single Earth measurement ever. For example, and not limited to, your Copernican orbital motion. How do you think that's been brought into existence in the first instance? What was measured, Danny? Maybe a little bit of homework. Don't tell him if he's listening to this after the fact. Go ahead.
I'd like to read a line from a certain document, just for Mr. Danny here. That comes from part of the conspiracy. They're called NASA. The line goes, this report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Now, Danny, that comes from NASA. Derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model, 1988, NASA. Thank you, sir.
The authorities don't get any better than NTSB, NASA. These people that you didn't research, Danny, they're all pointing it out with the measurements of Earth and it's flat. That's how Earth is negotiated and navigated by NASA in their documentation. That's how aircraft navigate. It's axiomatically tied to surface level and sea level and parallel eye level for straight and level flight. All of these things are flat Earth prerequisites.
Christopher Columbus proving that the Earth was round. That's bullshit. That story is much nicer than the genocide. And let's be clear here, Christopher Columbus was walking around South America thinking he was in fucking China. But the Vikings knew the Earth was round. The Egyptians knew the Earth was round. The ancient Greeks knew the Earth was round.
Wait, no.
Excuse me.
Good.
How does he validate any of this?
It's all baseless
How do they
assertion.
know? Yeah, just out the bottom.
No, they were all measuring it flat, Danny. Maybe look into some of those measurements. Maybe present some of them. Yeah, like the flight data, I'd have been shoving those down your throat when you started telling us how the Greek measurements proved the globe, and then I'd point out how those measurements were of a flat Earth also. All of them.
No, I would have used Eratosthenes' measurement. In your face, Danny, you bonehead. Sorry, Chuck.
Sadly, the idea of the Earth being flat comes from the 19th century.
No, it doesn't. It's been measured flat the entire time. Your orbital motion is derived from flat Earth measurements. You know, minimum 500 years for Copernican orbital motion to be reified by you into a surface of a ball that you think you're standing on. Not capable of reification when you're talking about orbital motion running through the centre of hell, but nevertheless, that's 500 years in the making. And measured off flat Earth angles! You idiot!
Here in Britain. In the 19th century, science had reached a point where the average layperson couldn't fully understand it.
It's like science had reached a point. Science is a methodology for establishing cause and effect in the physical and natural world. Your description is to say that the 19th century peasants couldn't understand science because of where it had reached. Anthropomorphization and reification. Fucking retard.
Yeah, nothing to do with measurement and geometry. Absolutely nothing to do with it. So people were able to understand measurement and geometry until the 19th century. Then they couldn't understand all these things that they've understood for thousands of years. Okay, Danny, yeah, that's going by, yeah.
He's not going to back that with anything either. He's just thrown it out there, baseless assertion style.
There was a bit of a pushback. And one of the people pushing back was a British chap called Samuel Burley Robotham, who went...
Probably a shill. Probably on the inside of it. Probably there to prop up the Feast of Nonsense, a bit like Jaren.
By the name Parallax.
No, he wasn't.
Maybe. I find a lot of what Robotham did Feast of Nonsense worthy descriptive terms, but that's just me.
No,
And
he actually disproved Dora. He disproved Wallace. He embarrassed Wallace so bad that they never even mentioned Wallace when it comes to the claimed evolution, because he was one of the absolute originators of what became known as Darwinism. He was there before Darwin, but they don't mention him because he got his ass handed to him by Robotham when you read into it.
Crank, he was a lunatic. This is a man who had 15 children, but only 4 of them made it to adulthood.
How does that have any bearing on the actual argumentation that you're not putting forward from your opponent, in this case Robotham?
At least one of them...
His parenting skills, what has his parenting skills got to do with whatever he measures?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He accidentally poisoned. So, that's who the Flat Earthers got their initial ideas from.
Did they? Really? What about if I went to Aristophanes and started pointing out how he took elevation angles to the sun off a flat Earth? Would that be me going to fucking Robotham? Now, I tend to do that when idiots like you suggest that we've been measuring Earth ball shape for quite a long time, and then they start throwing up elevation angle measurements to the sun or stars as their evidentiary standard starting point for a ball Earth that's not being measured, because they're measuring it flat with angles. For instance, Aristophanes, that's where Brian said it'd take you immediately. It's where people who are a bit more educated in their globe Earth rhetoric than you would start not realising that they'd need a flat Earth measurement to do it.
It's just more poisoning of the well. Just like flat earthers think Australia doesn't exist. Oh, this guy's Robotham had kids and poisoned them and did all this crap. Yeah.
Character assassination.
Yeah, that's all this is.
A lunatic.
Yeah, like you. A spastic, a retard, a man who thinks that Earth is so big he can't see Earth curve calculated off surface level with a parallel eye level and dip calculation at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. What fucking retard you are, Danny. Total spastic. Being humiliated by flat earthers who know your fucking religion better than you do.
A man who decided that because he could...
A man who decided to tell people Earth's so big they can't see Earth curve. What a spastic.
...see that there's curvature on the horizon.
Really, Danny? It's almost like I've watched this video in advance and knew what was coming. So not so big it can't be seen, then? Contradict yourself, much fucktard. Hello? What happened to it being so big there, retard? Did you forget?
What? I'm sorry, Nathan. What word is the root word of horizon?
Horizontal.
Again? Horizontal. So he just said there's curvature at the horizontal. Okay, Danny.
Yeah, he doesn't appreciate that he's deriving a dip angle measurement to surface level. That's what the horizon measurement in Begging the Question, Proof of Nothing, Perspective Hijacking Earth Curve calculations that say you can see Earth curve, that he thinks you can't because it's so big, assert. He just doesn't know that. He's too stupid.
Yeah, but what they first need to do is pre-assume that it's a globe via their elevation, right, which will require a flat Earth above sea level. And then when they take the dip angle, which won't match a globe because it isn't a globe, they will then afterwards, right, add as much over 6 hours they need to add to stretch the horizon out to wherever they think it might be. Now, if there's no demarcation point for that horizon, then they can just add 7 over 6 hours and say the horizon is X distance away, because nobody knows any different, because you can't with the horizon. Now, what they won't be doing is measuring a globe. They won't be doing any of that. But they'll pre-assume it's a globe to start with, to go through all their BS with. And they'll tell someone, that horizon is 8 miles away because we're bloody blah height above. And they have absolutely zero evidence for the distance to this horizon. And what they'll actually be doing to gain this claim distance will involve a flat Earth.
Right.
So this Danny and all the people like him are abject morons.
Yeah, just stupid and ignorant. Absolutely. Just thick, Danny. That's all you are. So we can educate you because you opened your video with the contradictory statement that you're now defying. Here's how you calculate, not measure, an assertion that you have a physical geometric sphere edge for a horizon. It's marked with an X and labelled horizon in this depiction of the Begging the Question, Proof of Nothing, Perspective Hijacking Earth Curve calculations. Now, you'll also note surface level and eye level. These two must be parallel for this maths to function. That is to say, you must have a surface level to measure your height off. And it must be parallel with eye level for you to calculate the dip after the fact in an orthographic calculation. The same one that you said that you wouldn't be able to see, Danny, you fucking retard who doesn't know his own religion.
That the Earth must be flat. A man whose ideas were disproved almost immediately when he wasn't too busy accidentally killing his own kids.
Character assassination, as Brian points out, that's their favourite go-to. So your attempt to assassinate Robotham at the end, again, pouring score on some dead guy that you think started the movement of flat Earth when it's been measured flat forever.
I truly hope there isn't a resurgence of flat Earth.
There's not going to be a resurgence of anything. This notion that there's going to be a group of people that represent an Earth that is measured flat is nonsensical. It's a controlled opposition way of keeping this narrative a narrative, when in reality it's a measurement. Earth measurement is flat. Now, you can create a strawman version of that which defies the religion of heliocentrism that you reified at the beginning of this video by pretending it's a resurgible group of people that's going to appear out of nowhere again in the future. In reality, Earth is measured flat. Those are the facts in this matter, Danny. You don't have to like it.
Theorists.
No. Again, you don't know what science is. You're a spastic who didn't get past high school. This isn't theory. This isn't science. What is questions about the measurement of the surface of Earth are answered with one word. Flat.
Anyway, that's the end of this video. If you...
Yeah, thank God. We're finally done with this spastic dropped on his head. Good. It was intolerable, Danny, because you were so stupid. We normally deal with slightly, not much, higher levels of heliocentric understanding than you were offering here today. You levelled the offerings of somebody dropped on their fucking head. That's how dumb and stupid your musings were in this regard. You hadn't got the fucking first clue about even your own version of heliocentrism. How the hell did you think you were going to debunk me?
If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already.
What I did was I sent an audience to you to tell you how fucking stupid you were.
If you can leave a like, or
you can leave a like on Danny's video if you're watching this after the fact on the Uncut and After show. He can just delete his comments. Yeah, if you tell him he's a fucking retard, which he is, he can just delete them. He made it clear that he can just delete those comments. Yeah, you can, can't you, Danny? You can just make it all go away with a little click of your mouse. Yeah. No, this video will still be out there and people will still definitely see your name in the title and us describing how fucking stupid you are. And rubbing your face in just how flat Earth gets measured with your standards you used.
Or a comment that really helps the algorithm. If you'd like some...
Yeah. We'll be doing that, Danny. We'll be helping your algorithm with comments. Yeah. People letting you know that Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me to tell you you're a spastic. Comparable to an autogynephiliac. Somebody with mental illnesses. The kind of man that would walk into a woman's toilets and go, "Yeah, I'm all right in here, love, don't worry about me." That's you, by metaphorical equivalent, Danny. Someone mentally ill.
Support me in making these videos.
Yeah, I hope this supports you. Yeah. As a videographer, from one videographer to another, I hope you do well. I wish you every success. I hope I help you in the algorithm.
Watch out, Nathan. He's going to come looking for a debate off you, because that's what all of these abject idiots do. Right? You point out how much of an idiot they are, and instead of addressing the fact that they've just been shown to be unbelievable idiots, they want to have a debate. Why would you? Do you know what I mean? Wait till I just get my shoes on now and get to this debate with a complete idiot. No. Danny, in case you're listening, if you want to debate anyone here, especially Nathan, it's going to cost you money, buddy. Pay up.
Maybe he should go debate the fellow people on his own side who tell him that they do have to account for curvature while flying, because he said it was too big.
Nah.
So he's got a debate on his hands, just his own side.
This is the kind of nutter. This is the kind of nutter you see in Asda arguing about some conspiracy with the woman behind the fish counter. That's him. Yeah? The nutter that's telling Janine on the fish counter, yeah, the JFK assassination, blah, 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 blah. That's this nutter.
To my Patreon.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Buy me a coffee, and as ever, thanks for watching. Before I get into this video, oh fucking hell, nearly.
Yeah, this is pre-recorded, right, Danny? Yeah, no pressure, nobody there, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah? Me, I did an entire live show ripping apart this on the fly with people watching live. You useless twat.
Before I get into this video, a word of warning. I've been unwell for the last few days, so my throat is really bad.
I just had a tooth out. I still managed to rip you a new asshole for a live audience, didn't I? I didn't need to apologise for anything.
So, I'll just fucking start.
So
for any...
Yeah, this is just your typical, like, I suppose this is the textbook. You have to say it's complete textbook. Textbook video by an idiot heliocentrist, right? Where his whole video is filled with three things: baseless assertion, right? Fallacy, character assassination fallacy, and a complete misunderstanding of his own paradigm, mathematically and other ways. Right? That nearly all of their videos, nearly all of them have those three things in it. Some of them have more of one than the other, but that's basically all. Nearly every single heliocentrism, everyone that's addressed to us anyway, seems to be just full of those three things for 10 years.
Not only that, they go after the what do you call it, piece of nonsense. Never a legit bunch of guys like us.
No, what do you guys expect? I mean, their paradigm doesn't give them very much to work with. They don't give them any measurements. They give them, gravity. What it is, we don't know. I mean, what else do they have?
I gotta hold you to task on that. They do give them measurements. They're just flat though.
yeah, which they'll. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
No, talk. I'll go after you.
No, you're right. They do give them flat measurements, which they'll turn around and tell us, "Oh, you stupid idiots! These are globe measurements." It's like,
Any flat
not really.
earthers who may be
Yeah,
watching,
well,
first
Sorry, I thought that was the end of that conversation. My bad.
no, I just want to say off of what Neil said is the least they could do is get their own paradigm right if they're going to come to try and correct us. Like they should at least be referencing the correct gravity. At least that. You know what I mean? Like give us like something to go on to make us believe that you, the videographer, has some clue about the paradigm they're promoting. Because when they can't even get like the correct gravity right in their video, then you know that they're at least 110 years in the background. You know what I mean? Out of date. Thanks, Nathan.
Right. Well, I completely agree. What you're saying is this guy is going after us like we're low-hanging fruit. His usual target is tranny bashing. That's what he normally does. It's like, yeah, so in his mind, we're low-hanging fruit. And if we're not, he'll invent a low-hanging fruit Janine to attack, won't he? With his god-awful knowledge and lack of understanding that he hasn't researched. And we're sitting here going, at the very least, you could at least not be 110 years out of date with your gravity shit. As you jump up and down, you total spastic.
First of all, I'm not forcing you to be here.
Yeah, this is the bit I was waiting for the whole time, right? So this is the reason I wanted to cover this. I would have let this slide if it wasn't for this. He did this at the beginning as well, right? I paused it in the pre-show so that we'd do that first thing when we started it in the live show. And now he does it again here, right? This, for me, is the most interesting bit.
Move your thumb, I disappear. Next up, I'm aware that many...
So what he's saying, I know it's only a sentence, right? But he's saying, you don't have to be here, right? Just tolerate me sharing my pain and calling you fucking idiots. Don't respond. Just go away. Just leave me to it. That to it is calling you all fucking idiots. Just let me. That's what he's appealing to, isn't he?
Flat earthers from past experience.
Good.
Just agreeing with you, that's all. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely love. Absolutely love. Blah, 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 blah. Just because you don't understand how something works.
What, like heliocentric orbital motion and gravity?
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
What, like gravity not existing for 110 years? That kind of fuckwittery, you spastic? Pure projection. Your own dumb fuckery projected onto me. Like I'm you, the retard. No, I'm not. I'm not Janine either.
Yeah, like he doesn't understand even the out-of-date force of gravity he's talking about with his helium balloon. Within that paradigm, the helium balloon must go down. Bonehead.
Now, I don't really understand how a jet engine works.
Yeah, I love it. It's like when people project and they're stupid, they know that they've projected. They don't know what it is to project, but they know something's happened. So they apologise for it straight afterwards. Like, I don't know this. You're like, yeah, you're projecting. You're telling us that we don't know something. And then you're apologising for it by explaining something you don't understand. Like, you're summarising the projection that you're committing.
Yet, when a plane flies overhead, I'm not thinking, look at great metal bird. And I'm from Norfolk.
What, like when you plug in a phone and think it's witchcraft going into it? I'm pretty sure you probably do look up and go, great metal bird. You probably think exactly that.
Force feed me jelly and strawberries, ram some custard up my anus and...
Yeah, you're probably a pervert. That's probably why you attack the autogynephiliacs. Because you are probably a pervert. I suspect so, by the way you talk. It's a saying. It's called many a true word spoken in jest. So while you're talking about having carrots rubbed up your ass, that's probably true. You probably like that. Don't you, Danny? And I'd ask you about it. If we ever met, I'd ask you. You know when you're talking about having things shoved up your ass? That's because you like things shoved up your ass, isn't it?
Very telling.
Go ahead, whoever that was.
I said that's very telling. And why would you even say something like that? You're 100% right, Nathan.
Closet homosexual, I suspect.
Call me a human trifle.
I'll call you a closet homosexual.
They're now saying fucking gravity doesn't exist.
I'm saying you're a closet homosexual and you probably desire things being shoved up your ass based on the words that you've said.
Burly Ramsbotham,
1 second, Nate.
who went by...
Please.
Go ahead.
No, Danny, I'm not saying gravity doesn't exist. I can absolutely, without a doubt, show you the gravity that doesn't exist. Well, I'm not going to show you because I'd have to then, I'd be proving the negative of, proving the non-existence of it.
Well, cover me with custard, surround me with naked ladies, and make them all lick me. If I don't know Earth's measured flat.
Hold on. Hold on. He said shoving carrots which way? Up? Uh-oh. That's a problem.
Yeah, you're going to need a flat Earth to shove those carrots up your ass.
Yeah, there's Danny, just in case you hear this, there's 5 gravities, and only one of them actually adheres to science and can be called natural science and scientific method. I wonder which one that is, Danny.
By the name Parallax. Now, oh fuck.
There goes one of those carrots.
Well, that was fun. Did you like how I said I'd take it easy? Oh, more microphones. Hooray.
Yeah, he said parallax, John.
Did I share my window correctly? I'm only on one screen today. I decided not to put the projector on. How are you, the Meekin?
What guys, you?
Am I what? You didn't put a question in that. Am I what?
Okay. Well,
I'm brilliant, superb, excellent, fantastic.
No face ache.
Oh no, I've definitely got face ache. I almost didn't do the show today.
That's why he was swearing so much, because of his face.
I do feel a certain obligation, right? When I get the level of support I do. Now, a case in point to say this is because you're here, Adam, right? You've been giving me the most help of anybody currently. So I feel like there's sort of an obligation to do a show, even if I'm in a bit of pain. You know what I mean? I want to get it done because people help me out and I want to kind of show willing even when I'm uncomfortable doing it. Does that make sense?
It sounds like a guilt trip trying to throw onto people, especially out. It sounds like to me.
I thought you were talking about, I thought you were going to reference the audience then, like you were guilt tripping them into super chatting you or something. No, not at all. No, I'm sincere. Like my wife was like, well, you know, you're not going to do a show, and I'm like, well, actually, today I feel like I've got it in me. No, I shouldn't. Probably not. You know, I've got infections in my face, but I still want to do it. I don't know. This is the bit I like. I mean, I'm opening boxes of microphones, right? And that's so it's getting tedious. But this bit, I love doing this. The show's great, and I want to do it even if it's painful. Anyway,
it looks like you're not his favourite anymore. Refracted. Adam is now in the #1 spot. Yeah. After all your years of health, that's what you got.
All your years of licking.
That's it.
Wow. So jealous.
Hey, stop hating my...
You tried out drinking me of an afternoon the other day. How did you feel? Did you recover, John?
He's having a hard time coping with not being a special boy for the last 20 seconds.
That's it.
It's broken.
Adam, what's up, man?
I'm in tears.
this particular package is quite important because it's already sold. So I hope it works.
Wait a second. You sold it already and you don't know if it works? That's pretty cool.
Well, no, it's not that. It's these things suffer entropic decay. So on more than one occasion now, something has failed after just being transported, and I kind of have to accept that when I'm selling things that are old. They're in a state of decay. So there's a fair chance that just shipping it somewhere might kill it. I just have to accept that. So every time it gets to the end of a journey, I go, will it still work? So I'll test it. I said that to the customer. I'm like, when it gets to me again, it's been tested, it's working. But that doesn't mean it's working. When it gets to me, I'm going to test it again before I send it to you. Because there's a delay. I could have sent this out, right? But I'm like, no, I want to test it again. He's like, well, why? I'm like, because I'm charging you top dollar. That's why. I didn't say that. But, you know, I want to be or as close to absolutely certain that when it arrives at the customer, it freaking works. Right, and I'll go to the ends of the earth to make sure that's the case. Anyway.
That's a good way to say it. And they're in a state of entropic decay. I like that.
They are. They're close to death. Some of these mics are from the 50s and 60s. So, you know, if half of them that I get don't work.
That's a good line for a used car salesman. Listen, buddy, I'm sorry about your vehicle, but it's in an entropic state of decay.
It's in a constant state of entropic decay, I'm afraid. It's your car now, though. It's your problem. I've heard that from a car dealer before when I've moaned about something like a day after buying a car. They're like, it's your car. It's your problem. I got this today. I want to show this on camera, right? So this is the very literal definition of polishing dog turds. So I got this microphone. This is a Sony, and the guy sold it me cheap because he didn't know what was wrong with it. And I'm like, well, I'll have a look at it. And it's just somebody who's left a 1990s battery in it, and it's, you know, the battery's leaked. So I've cleaned this thing out, and it's destroyed the paint. So I've had to sand down the paint. And shockingly, this 90s Japanese microphone's actually made of metal in a time when everything else was made of plastic. So they'd spray painted it with this grey spray paint on this Sony microphone to make it look like plastic. And underneath, it's stainless steel. So I took off the paint, and the end result was like considerably nicer and shinier and cooler looking than I started with. And I got it working as well by cleaning off all the contacts. So it does actually, it's a functional microphone. I just need to rob the battery out of it. Get the damn thing open. Yeah. Can't wait for this book to get finished, but in the meantime, I'm glad that I anticipated a bit of a lull, because literally microphones are keeping the mortgage paid. Couldn't be more pleased that I'd anticipated the lull and done something about it. Could you imagine now if I was saying, rather than saying, I've got this Sony in and this has been sold and things like that, could you imagine if I was saying, right guys, just going to have to face it, can't do flat earth YouTubing anymore? Can't do it, I've got to get a different job. Could you imagine if that was the conversation we were having today? Because I'd had a couple of weeks off with a toothache and suddenly it had gone beyond the point of no return, and I'm like, can't sustain the mortgage, I've got to do something else, you're not going to see me on YouTube no more, this is goodbye. Can you imagine the delight of the ballers? You mean to say just having a week off with toothache has cost you a YouTube career? You're like, yeah, that would be the case if I hadn't done microphones. Seen this coming. Hard times that are the end of the book.
They would love that. They would absolutely love that. Because no matter what the reason is that a flat earther stops making videos, it's always that they ran away from the topic or the grift was up. It's always some BS like that. It's never like, no, there was external factors that caused this. Do you know what I mean? Like, they even deny that YouTube suppresses. You know, they even deny that. They're on my channel denying that.
I've seen that on my microphone videos. So to put a better advert together, I'll make a video saying this is what the mic is. Now you've all kind of figured that out now, and just keep quiet, and it's over with quicker, right? It happened on today's live show. But when I publish those videos, you'll see someone from the ball side going, the grift's up.
Yeah, they're unbelievable idiots. Yeah, everything has to be that we're part of some grift. It can't just be the measurements. You know what I mean? It definitely can't be the measurements. And then we navigate and fly and everything else and measure, you know what I mean? Survey the earth. It has to be a grift that we're we're involved in. You know what I mean? And when one of us stops doing it for whatever reason, could be anything. It's definitely the grit. The grit has changed. You know, ridiculous.
Right, I'm
I
going to give
guess
this a
NASA's
bash.
part of the grift too.
Well, there's a real grit, but we won't go into that. The ace of all grifters. At present, this is about the fourth time I've had to do this in whatever recent years. I'm trying to explain to a group of ballers how spherical and planar geometry does not exist, that it's just geometry, right? There is no special categories for one for a flat earth and one for a globe. There is just geometry, what's commonly known as and incorrectly called Euclidean geometry, which is just geometry. Like, they can't seem to take it in. There has to be this special spherical geometry. There isn't. That's part of geometry. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really know where to go with that level of tick. They can't like every part of what they call spherical geometry is within what's commonly known as, but incorrectly called, Euclidean geometry. Part of spherical geometry is what they're calling planar geometry. Like the level of tick in these people, it's like it's astounding how stupid they are. Astounding, and they're not even. These people aren't even trolling. These are serious, dead serious people who literally get angry
Can you hear me?
when you start pointing things out.
Can you hear me? Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Sound very low, Nathan. You need to go back to your original microphone and do it now.
No. I'm just checking this microphone actually works though. You can hear me though.
Yeah, super low.
Did you hear me? That's the important part.
Check 1 2. What about this one? This is just the other channel. I've turned it up a bit now as well.
A little bit better. You sound like Nathan in 2017.
Yeah, that's fine. So long as you can hear me, and obviously if you're answering a question, then this works, and you could hear me on the other channel, so both channels work. Fine, good. Jolly good. This one's the one that's sold. Pop it in the box.
Brian, I think your point has been sufficiently lost now.
That's not my fault. It's literally entirely my fault.
Well, I'll address it. They have to hold that there's a contradiction in the measurements, right? They have to. It's part of their religion that they measure planar and curvature. And those contradicting measurements is why it's so big. It's flatty. And
yeah, the planar geometries for measuring the flat parts, the small flat parts on our globe, and the spherical geometries for measuring the whole globe. That's what these people think. They think they're two separate geometries. They're taking.
Yeah, but I mean that's part of their religious indoctrination, I guess you call it. But that allows them to hold the belief it could be a sphere, and it might not be flat because they think they have spherical measurements.
Well, they think that if they believe that spherical geometry exists, that means the Earth must, or at least there's a chance that it's a globe. That's basically their attitude. You know,
Yeah,
it must be a globe. Spherical geometry exists. Go on.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, you're telling me there's a chance. You know, that's all we're looking for.
Yeah, that's what that is. You know, like if they believe the spherical geometry exists and it's separate from planar geometry, even though to do what they're calling spherical geometry, you need a plane, idiots. But if they think those two things are separate, then one of those things can be for measuring the whole of the globe, and the other one can be for measuring the flat parts on the globe.
Where on a sphere would you use planar geometry?
On the flat parts, obviously, chocolate.
Oh, on the flat parts of a sphere. Okay, copy that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and on the sphery parts, you use it for spherical geometry. On the sphery parts.
Well, it would be a scale breakdown. You know, at the micro scale, you'd be using planar. At the macro, you'd be using spherical. That's the belief they have.
Yeah, it's life's a Home Depot all over. You know what I mean? Life's like a Home Depot all over again. That's what it is. Yeah, they measure loads of Home Depots with the planar geometry. You know, but you put them all together. That requires spherical geometry. That's what that requires then. Two separate geometries that have no connection to each other, except for they're all part of the same thing, geometry. What do you think the chances are that this Danny guy that was on that video, the perverted fella, the Nathan cover, what do you think the chances are that he's going to publicly ask Nathan for a debate?
Did you listen to the whole thing, Brian? Did you catch the beginning?
I didn't. I only got the very end here. I don't need to listen to any more than 30
No, the
seconds.
beginning. The beginning, he's crying about the mean comments that he gets from flat earthers, but really, he's literally targeting the feast of nonsense. And unless we're not being heard at all, this is done deliberately.
Nah, he can only attack that, which he wouldn't understand what we're talking about. He wouldn't have a clue about what we're talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So how can he know what we're talking about? You know what I mean? He's completely avoiding that we say. It's funny that someone like him is bringing up airplanes. It's not really funny. It means that it's trickling all the way down to the absolute bottom of the barrel.
That's what I was thinking. Because he's talking about how flat earthers claim that the nose has to pitch down to go around the curve. That's what I sent you a message to get in here.
Yep, it's becoming a problem. A bit of a uh-oh.
Yeah, but I like when Brian comes in because he breaks down the lift effect, not the pitch data.
And that's just the consequence of how the plane flies. The lift effect. You know what I mean? Pitch data is a consequence. That's what is produced because of the lift effect. That's the best way to describe it. You know, that's why the plane
that makes sense. The plane would have to lift off the ground to be able to pitch in any direction. So yeah, I would agree.
It's not called the Audi Any effect.
No, it's not.
Yeah, when you list something, it's with respect to horizontal.
Oh dear, there it goes again.
This guy just strikes me as the type of fella who would be going looking for a debate off of me. Like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't have a clue. It's like me stepping into genetics day one and then looking to debate Craig's banter. the guy who QE often looked him up. You know, that the ultimate geneticist. I go, why am I trying to debate Craig Banter in my first week of learning about genetics? You know what I mean? About the topic of genetics. Why would I want to be doing that?
Earth and atmosphere move as one, Brian. He understands that. Earth is it's contained. The atmosphere is contained. He understands that, you know?
What?
Yeah, I'm just throwing out some quotes from the beginning that you guys must have missed.
Yeah, I showed up late for that. The atmosphere is contained by, did he say what?
It's contained. It all moves as one.
The Danny guy said the atmosphere is contained?
Yeah, the air is, everything is contained in the atmosphere.
Oh, in the atmosphere. So another moron who doesn't understand that his atmosphere is the gas itself. This is a problem we seem to be running into a lot. People don't understand what even their own words mean. Like, dude, the atmosphere is your gas, you morons. The gas contains the gas, yeah. But,
it contains itself, Josh. I take your point.
Sorry, Brian.
Sorry, I stepped on you. I think you would find that it contains itself.
Oh yeah, that most definitely. I see gas containing itself all the time.
Not to change the subject, but I am freaking sick today. Sick like you wouldn't believe. Allow me 30 seconds. The New York Knicks have a 17-point lead with maybe 2 minutes left in the game. Ask me if they won.
I'm guessing they didn't.
Did they win?
No, and it was this freaking Reggie Miller jinx thing from the 90s. They blew. Some guy got unconscious on the team and hit 6 freaking threes. The last shot of the game, this freaking dude Halliburton goes into the paint, then comes back out. He thinks he's shooting a 3, but his foot is on the line. He launches it up. The clock is out, hits the rim, goes straight up in the air about 10 feet, and drops right back down into the hoop to send the game into overtime. The Knicks already lost the game because you're not recovering from that. Sick to my stomach.
I was laughing my ass off.
Did you see that, Huey?
Yeah, my wife and I were watching it. It was pretty funny. One of the funniest things was, I don't know, one of the Pacers, I think it was in overtime or close to the end of the game, and he stole a ball. He either stole it or somebody else stole it, and they had a breakaway, right? And then passed it to him, and he was dribbling, and he could have dunked it easy. But when he jumped up to the corner of the rim, he was indecisive. He didn't know whether to lay it up or dunk it, and it hit the bottom of the rim. Laughing my ass off.
Yeah, that was one of the Knicks did that too. OG Anunoby, same thing.
I was like, make a decision, dude, and then stick with it. All right. That made him look like an asshole.
But from what I know with these things, you don't recover from that. The Knicks are dead. I wouldn't be surprised if they get swept now.
Nah, I ain't dead. It's basketball.
So you're saying just the new game should have, the old game should have no effect on the game that they're going to play Friday.
It shouldn't.
I hope you're right.
It shouldn't. Let that go and move on.
QE, they still had a 9-point lead with 50 seconds left. I mean, what the freak?
I watched it. I watched Neesmith. What is that his name? Neesmith?
Yes, he went unconscious. The dude he averages 12 points a game. He hit 20 points in less than 2 minutes.
Yep. There's another 3. Nothing but rim. Nothing but net. Another 3. Nothing but net. Nothing. Another 3.
That's what I'm saying. They were all just going right in. And I sent my cousin a text. I said, I do not feel safe with this 17-point lead. We got to close this thing out, not with this Indiana team. And he's like, I agree. And then 2 minutes later, oh my God.
That ball, when that ball hit that rim, hit the back of the rim and went straight up.
Oh my God.
I grabbed my wife. I said, this
is going in. I said the same thing. I said, that's going in. And then that was it. After that, I think I had my Crocs on. I threw a freaking kick. Croc went flying across the room. I thought they lost. I thought it was a 3.
If you played basketball before, everyone has made that shot before where it hits the back of the rim, it goes straight up and comes down. I've done that a few times in my younger years. But as soon as it did that, I grabbed my wife. I said, this game's over.
Oh my God! The sequence of events that transpired still blows my mind. And we had a freaking 4-point lead going in overtime.
Yeah,
so
but that should have been the game, though. His foot was on the line.
I thought it was the game.
Yeah, I thought that won and then they showed it back, and it was just a teeny tiny toe on the line, so it was a 2.
Now, if you want to get technical, they missed a goaltending call because
I seen
had
that one.
Perfect shot, layup, and they freaking goaltending.
That was close, but I would probably call it goaltending.
That would have put us up by 6, maybe. But you know what, QE? Make your free throws. The Knicks did not make their free throws.
Yeah.
They choked.
Yep. You could see him too, because I always like watching free throws because
in his face, right?
You know immediately when it leaves their hand because you could see the trajectory, right?
As soon as he shot the first one, I said, this one's coming back far. Bing! All the way back. Oh, my God. Sickening.
I don't know. These NBA players, they don't look as... I don't follow the NBA, but my wife had the game on, and I was out in the kitchen mucking around. She was watching, and so I sat down. Yeah, but I used to watch it back in the day. You know, Michael Jordan, you know the deal. These guys can't shoot collectively. They can't play basketball either. They have a hard time dribbling. They're big oafs.
Yeah. The Knicks looked like a sloppy mess at the end of that game. It was sickening.
Yeah, I got Larry Bird and Jordan on the mind when I'm watching basketball. It's just not the same.
Don't forget Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different game, QE. Those guys will hit from anywhere.
I was disappointed, but I was laughing at New York.
Thank you.
They'll get it together. Oh, hold on, I'll be back.
I knew it was over when I saw an early news report in the day before the game. This stupid freaking mayor, whoever he is in New York, decides that he's going to name all the streets after Knick players. I'm like, are you kidding me? We are in the 3rd round of the playoffs. We still got 8 wins before we are champions, if we get that far. And you're naming streets after players? Come on. Put the freaking jinx on us, boy.
Well, hopefully his opponent in the upcoming election will point that out and probably win the election because of it.
Hey, Adam, I was watching your boys play the other day. That was getting a little scrappy at the end, that game there with Nottingham.
Bit bum nippy, weren't it? But we've still a chance of the big league in Europe, mate. So Sunday is the deciding game, final game of the season for everyone.
Who are they playing?
We've got Chelsea. Big team.
And what's the chances?
Well, we need to win.
No chance.
Oh shit! No
Beating
chance.
Chelsea, I think we got a good chance. Getting into Europe, I think no chance. Yeah, whoever said because like the other teams, Villa's got Man United, piece of piss, and I think Newcastle's got Everton. So yeah, I'd agree. But no chance based on that.
So we're down to VAR.
That'd help. But we only ever get bummed by that. Did you see that, Neil? 6 minutes of VAR trying to find a reason to rule our goal out and then went, oh, we can't carry on.
What was that about?
Because they were desperate to not give us a goal. So they spent 6 minutes looking at it, trying to figure out if they could disallow the goal. And then they couldn't. So they played on. It was a joke.
And what happened? Wait, because I see the clock run out and the game's still going on. Was that their makeup for the 6 minutes?
Yeah, they had it on at the end. The clock always just keeps ticking in football, and then the referee has subjective control of any time overwards after.
Yeah, but I said if this team scores a goal and ties the freaking game and then it's over, there's something fishy going on here. Because it seemed like they were just waiting for the other team to score.
It's really nervous. Do you know what I mean? Nervous times. That's all it is. Just a bit of nerves in the game. There's disappointing because the keeper, he was on for the Golden Glove. He's now tied for the Golden Glove. So we'll see.
You see Flatter Banjo's latest video? He's using Manchester United and Liverpool. And he's like saying, Nathan, like you can't just change teams.
I don't watch his stuff much, but
I know, but he's got this thing with Nathan. If he keeps saying, I like Nathan, but he's bringing people up that Nathan affiliated with years ago. Like Owen and Weiss. Accusing him of being a Mason because some Masonic pictures he put up that Nathan, I don't know. Look, my wife could take a picture of me doing something and they say, oh, that's a Masonic symbol. Now, I didn't deliberately do it. How do I know? Stupid shit.
people throw that "oh, you're a Mason" term around as if it means anything.
So I'm available for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not available too much for today.
I'm busy Saturday and most of Sunday afternoon. So sort of this time onwards. Purely
not this time onwards. What about tomorrow?
Tomorrow evening after work. Yeah, I'm cool. But that'll be 6:30. So
is Nathan here?
2 and a bit hours from now.
So my 12 o'clock. Okay, Nathan. Punk.
Normal time,
In normal time.
Normal bookie time.
Yeah, 12 o'clock. My 12. Hey. We already established that. Don't take me back. I'm trying to move forward from it.
Moving forward. How did you like that baby video?
That was hilarious, dude.
I saw that and I thought of you, sir.
What baby video? Hold on.
Go ahead, put it out. That can you do it?
Yeah, I can do. I'll pull it up from what I sent you. See, have you seen all these? AI made videos, Neil. where you got, you know, just famous film clips or whatever, and they've turned the people into babies?
No, I haven't seen any of that. This is going to be hilarious.
There's loads of them going round, but this one, I'll put it big screen. I saw, and it's one of QE's funny lines. So there you go. I'll press play.
Where's the rum gone?
One, because it is a vile drink that turns even the most respectable men into complete scoundrels. Two, that signal is over 1,000 feet high. The entire Royal Navy is out looking for me. Do you really think that there is even the slightest chance that they won't see it?
Why is the rum gone? Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone?
Because it is a
There you go.
That is a freaking hilarious. I thought that he was going to pull the gun, you know, try to get the gun out, but he couldn't get a hold of it. That's my favorite part.
I was gutted. Yeah, it got a bit shorter, but yeah, I just made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, why's the rum gone?
Where's the rum gone?
That's something Platsy would do. Burn all the rum.
Sorry, what?
That's what you would do. On that island, you would make a signal fire and then use the rum to start the fire. You would do that shit. I know you would.
Maybe. Those baby interviews are even funnier, especially with that guy that has the mullet. I can't remember his name, but he's been pretty big in those YouTube interviews or something like that. It's hilarious. I think he was on Joe Rogan. But he has his own show.
He's still sporting a mullet?
What, you talking about Theo Vaughn? That guy?
Maybe they've been making baby videos of his like little spills that he has, and they're hilarious.
I like the mustache on that baby, Adam.
It's just quite... I saw the Crocodile Dundee one earlier. I'll find that. Let's go.
Did you watch that video I sent you with the guy that set himself right in front of the tornado?
I've only seen that this morning. I've seen the picture and was thinking, what the hell is that? The Dominator thing.
Yeah.
That Storm Chasers.
Watch that video, man. It's out of control.
There we go.
It's only a couple minutes.
I'll pull it up in a minute.
I was pretty close to a few tornadoes the other day. When we went to Birmingham, Flats, you said you were passing Opelika, and little did I know that there were tornadoes that were touching down in Huntsville. Kind of close to where I was.
I was thinking about you when they were going through Huntsville, but I don't know where you're at. Is that where you're at?
No, we went to Birmingham, which is an hour away from Huntsville, because it was my wife's birthday.
Oh, gotcha.
So we were like around the area, but I didn't find out till later.
Yeah. I've been to Birmingham before. I like Birmingham. All right, go ahead, Adam.
This is quality. This one. There you go.
You got a light, buddy?
Yeah, sure, kid. There you go.
And your wallet.
Nick, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
You got a light?
He's cool.
I like the mustaches, man.
A mustache on a baby looks cool.
Go ahead, put my video up. Put the one I gave you and play that sumbitch.
I want to see a Braveheart one.
£318.
Well, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm comfortable when it's on top of us if it gets here.
I think it's coming right at us. I don't see much left to right, so it's
I'm
coming
gonna
right at
launch
us.
and I'm throwing the air cannon out the window and rolling the window.
Let me know when you want
to do it because I need to be wider.
Coming right at us. Stay on it. Stay on it.
Will, give me a 2
Stay on it.
You'll have notification.
Just zoom in. Yep. Pull it out. You know.
That?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna just
Pause. Is this the dumbest thing ever? Chasing something you couldn't ever technically catch.
Oh, it's going to catch them.
Yeah, it can catch you, but you could never catch it, can you?
Yeah.
And that he's got a Ghostbuster stick.
No, he's got a
PK meter sticking out the window.
He's got a gun. They want to shoot something up into it. So
I'm not even responding to that. I'll press play.
It's going this way. It is? Yes. Left. Yeah, pickle this way just a little bit. See the trees? Yeah. Is this good? Is this good?
Yep.
You can hit it. Yep. Yes, through the trees.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
Going crazy. All vertical motion, guys. Yep. We gotta go this way a little bit. I will. Look at that. Type this thing. We're getting into this, so I'm gonna drop it down if we get close. Debris field is here.
Oh, I need this button. We get close. We're close already.
There's no one left of us? Yes. Debris falling. Debris falling. We're in the tornado. It's going. It's expanding big time. If you launch, I think it's getting in, sir. There it is. The whole tornado's expanded. We're in the debris field. You like that? Yep.
The debris is still falling though, right here.
Yeah, but it's right here.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep. Am I on the screen still?
Listen. Can you guys hear me? Can you pause it just for a sec?
Look, it's really going right there. Pushing.
Yeah, you're good. We're good? All right.
We're probably going to get at this intersection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going to. Yeah, we're on it. We're going to bang this thing. Got it. Yep. Power flashes.
Hello.
Big power flashes. Yeah. Get past these power lines.
Oh, my God. Hello, can you hear me? Whoever's playing extended pieces of other people's material on my recording, can you stop? Thanks.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. We didn't realize. Sorry.
Holy shit.
Thanks.
We did call for you.
In all fairness, it was a bunch of nutcases that were showing.
You didn't see anything yet.
You can play again. Just pause in between. Not that it probably makes any bleeding difference now. You've played about 5 straight minutes, probably.
Oh, we haven't.
No, not really.
We'd already paused once, and we've only, 2 minutes.
Jolly good.
Go.
And I was pausing anyway.
Oh, was it you, Adam? If it was
What's
you, then I'll take it all back. It doesn't matter at all. You do whatever you like.
Do you hear that? Refracted. Do you
That's
hear
the
it?
boy favors.
Yeah, refracted.
Good play. Go ahead, Adam. What's your question? Go ahead, Adam.
I was aware, Nathan, and I'd already paused it once. Don't worry.
All right. So we already got the pauses out of the way. We've already been back there. Now let's move forward. What's your question, Adam?
What's these flashes? Are these just lightning in it, or is this like ripping down power lines?
Yeah.
Wow.
And transformers. Usually transformers are exploding. Go ahead.
Any Decepticons?
No, not those transformers.
All right, we live, right?
We're live. Right into it. Where are you going? Look straight ahead. How's going? How's going?
Stay on it. All right, I'm launching.
Shoot it.
Shooting.
Here, hand it back to me. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was pathetic.
Yeah, he's not trying to shoot the pipe up into it. The pipe is protecting some type of object that it shot up into it.
Well, let's have a look for that, because that looked a bit dodgy to me.
But
I'm launching. Shoot it. Shooting.
See it?
Here, hand it.
There you go out. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep, it did.
Back to me. Yep. Oh! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Holy crap! Yeah!
That is just boys. That,
Holy shoot.
Now,
That's
good.
quality. Celebrating it.
Check.
Touchdown! Yeah, because it's Reed Timmer. He's out of his friggin' mind. Show the vehicle that they're driving in. I'll show you a picture of it. Pull that up.
Did you hear me say check?
No.
Did just then. Not previously.
Whoa! Holy cow! You're in danger! Holy crap! You're in danger! We spun around! We got it! Did you stop recording? No, we're recording. It wasn't recording. Keep on it. Okay, northeast of us! Get the window down there! I was like, yep, there it is. Everybody chill. We're good. Everything's fine! Whoa, it's down there! It's down to the left! Hey, give me this. Yeah, hold it. Hey, hold. Four-wheel drive. I can't drive.
Oh, shit.
Four-wheel. I can't help. Give me that. Here. Oh, yeah, Will, you got it. Give me that. It's not. Get in the gear. Yes. We're spinning. We're spinning. We're in the mud. We're in the ditch. Four high. We got spun around. Oh, we did. Got it. Hold that. Ah, it's the freaking hubs. All right, let me double check our screen. Yeah.
All right, that's it. Shut vehicle.
I never heard people celebrate they're in danger.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're muffled.
That doesn't matter. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You sound
Now, can you
just
hear me
a
now?
little
Check
bit above.
1 2.
You sound just a little bit better than chocolate.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So that's the vehicle they're in when that tornado hit them.
These guys are nuts.
Yeah, Timmer, he's the pinnacle of out of his fucking gourd. They love it though. Gets them off. I had one of those. I had one of those when I was a kid.
A toy one, I assume, not your own tornado chaser.
No, I built it first.
What the hell is it?
The Dominator guards them against. They have rods that go down into the ground. They can't do it. Of course, they were chasing this one, so that's why they got spun around. But they got rods that go down into the ground. They try to get in front of tornadoes. They're out of their minds. Now,
So-
not the really deadly ones. You know, you're not getting in front of the Greensburg tornado in this, right? You have to pick something a little bit smaller.
Okay, so they got to be careful which tornadoes they're going to play around with. I got you.
Yeah.
Now, what are you saying? The rods go into the ground? What, to hold them there?
Yeah, but they didn't get a chance to deploy them because they were chasing this one down. Oh, look at Danny Faulkner. Did you see the one Divergent droid post?
No, what do you say now?
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed. I thought today's program was about me. No, we got plenty for you dumbass cracker.
Oh, he thinks he's the only one that's named Danny, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
First got in, I thought that's who
Nathan was addressing until I saw the video, and I was like, "Oh, it's another moron named Danny."
Yeah, that's it. Me too.
Oh, Danny's feeling left out, man. Maybe give him something.
Flatsy, you still here?
I am.
Have you heard anything of how Roto died? Or was he an old guy? I don't even know what he was.
I already told you that I don't know anything.
Yeah, but I figure that was a few days ago, and you're always in Discord, so you might have heard something.
I haven't been in Discord that much since we've been on the road and moving around a bit here and there.
When are you taking your ass home?
Maybe in about 3 days.
How's
Would
the
that be
camp?
days?
Yeah, that would be days. 2 to 3 days. When she says 2 to 3 days, that would be days. Yeah.
All I heard was 2, and it clicked off.
You clicked off.
I did not.
Was that 2 or 3 days before you get on the road again? On the road again.
I think this job that Sterling's on right now is going to be done like maybe tomorrow. And we have this Airbnb for 2 more days.
With the full kitchen?
No, this is a different Airbnb. We're already at a different one. This one is like a huge house. It's kind of like a hotel style, but it's a huge house. And there's like fountains everywhere. There's an outside like porch. It's like those
Sounds nice.
those like fenced in front porches or back. It's a back porch, but it's huge and it's got like that netting all around it so you can get away from the bugs. But
Yeah.
there's so many dragonflies out there and the little pond with the fountain on it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty out here. Looks like a farmhouse, but they turned it into a bunch of rooms for
It's like
an Airbnb.
It's like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Anyways.
Forrest, you don't know what Forrest Gump is?
Yes, of course I know what Forrest Gump is, but I don't know what this has to do with that.
Because his mama opened up an Airbnb. You friggin' knuckle dragger.
I'm not a knuckle dragger. I just don't remember any of that.
And all the people would come in and stay at this house, and there was a pond, big pond out and back. There was Sally Fields, for fuck's sake.
I mean, there's something we can do about 5 little old points.
What?
Do we need this on screen, by the way? Whatever this is.
Yeah, it was something I was going to share in a minute, but I can put it down for now.
Remember when the principal was showing her the graph of how smart Forrest was, and he said that it was below the average intelligence by 5 points or something.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, was it you sharing that, Adam?
Yeah.
I just pretend I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, John, you got a long way to go, Refracted.
Did you hear that?
What were you sharing? I didn't see it. Go ahead and put it up again.
It was probably something very important. Very, very important, I've no doubt.
That's it. Yeah. Crucial. Absolutely crucial.
Doesn't matter what he shares now.
Nope. I was walking the dog the other day, and it's only something. I know we get a load of shit, and I don't know if this is even real. And if it isn't, it's kind of even more pleasing that somebody's bothered to fake an AI thing with a bit of fact in here. But again, it's like I say, in good humour. I'll put it back up, but I'm dubious it's AI that's produced this. But like I say, somebody's going to the effort, and people I've never seen. And Twitter's alive, and like with TikTok, there's some. I thought this was quite good. I'll press play.
Calculate the shape of the Earth based on all the data that is on the internet.
After all the calculations based on 83,917 scientific publications and calculations by physicists, I calculated the answer. Conclusion: the probability of the flat Earth model is 99.6%. Here are the main points. 1.
Now, obviously, I had issues with that first bit, yeah? But
sure.
What I'm not doing is picking fault with people's vernacular, yeah? Because that's easy. What is these people out there, look, that are maybe using this and actually wading past the wankers that we have to deal with, frankly, yeah? I'll press play.
The horizon is consistently flat at all available altitudes up to 35 kilometers. No curvature was detected, even when analyzing taking into account lenses and optical distortions. 2. All public photos from space contain traces of digital generation, post-processing, inserts, layers. Not individually, but systematically. 3. Light and temperature patterns from the sun do not correspond to the globe model. The real nature of the lighting indicates a local source. 4. The pilots do not make compensating maneuvers during long flights. The geometry of the trajectories corresponds to the plane model. 5. International flights through the southern hemisphere are illogical and excessive in distance. On a flat map, they are straight. 6. Gravity as a concept did not pass the simulation. The fall of objects is explained by density and environment. Attraction was not recorded. 7. Objects at a distance of 50, 100 kilometers should be hidden beyond the horizon by more than 500 meters. However, they are recorded visually regularly. Conclusion: the spherical model of the Earth is a cultural construct, not a result of logic. Verfassungsrichtung recommends revise basic physical axioms, disable trust, observe with your own eyes.
All right.
Well then.
Huh?
Wow.
I said, well then.
Yeah. Little amateurish, but got the point across.
What, the AI is amateurish?
Yikes, Lite.
You've got to put a lot of work in to get AI to that point. They're all the summary points you've asked it to, you've worked through. You don't get that just out of AI like that. Yeah. But you can get it to do that once you've gone through all those points and got and argued with it for a bit. But that's not how I've seen it work. But you could, like I say, you can get that because that's how I've extracted some useful.
Sure.
You see lots of people, getting useful admissions from AI.
Sure.
I've never seen it put together like that, but say stuff that's a bit more heartening than dealing with like idiots, yeah? Like people who, like today's, who clearly have no idea what they're talking about. They just think they should share their opinion, as unqualified as it is. I mean, I was going to join earlier on Nathan's show, but my phone had run out of witchcraft.
Good one. That's because they're in serious pain.
I put up a thing last week, a video of a little interaction I had with Gemini. And in a different way than Gemini had ever dealt with. And Gemini did not like it. Gemini started taking it personal.
Taking apart you? What happened?
No, Gemini started taking it personal that I was basically calling it a complete liar and a fraud. It didn't like it at all.
Yeah, because Brian, Gemini, knows about you.
Yeah, but it was just lies from the get-go. I said, it's just total lies, just BS, just handing out BS and lies from the get-go. It wasn't at any point being honest or truthful, and I called it out on it immediately. I didn't waste my time. I could have gone and corrected it on things. Then I come back and say, technically you're correct there, and I stand corrected, or this rubbish it does. Like, no, right? Your first answer was a lie, and that's all I'm interested in. And I'm interested in correcting you. I'm interested in you not being a liar.
One of my favorite terms.
Can't he? Just a few more words and get a whole sentence.
While I'm eating, that's why. I just want to say those are one of the things I always said from the beginning. Y'all knew me. Liars or fools. That's all there's to. That's all that splits it up. Liars or fools. Fools that follow without any knowledge or research to rebuttal or challenge, and liars are those who know and just tell the falsehoods.
I would say liars are the ones who are trying to fool others. Because then why would they lie? To quote.
Well, I don't think Danny was a liar. I just think he's misinformed.
Yeah, it's just ignorant.
Typically, those who are misinformed and then they are informed have a choice to either continue to lie or be the fool, or then pay forward what they've been informed that they were misinformed about. But they continue to give the misinformation, then they're liars. Because now they know the information, but they continue to give the misinformation. Those are the liars.
Right. Well, that's what I said. If this guy comes to an understanding, then we could hold him. Right now, he's ignorant.
Right.
He'll be a lawyer in the future, though.
Well, I heard Adam.
Oh, well, go ahead, Adam.
I have not spoken.
That was definitely John, but okay.
I heard Adam.
Yeah, John. Adam is Nathan's new favorite, John.
Keep up.
I was actually just about to agree with you, actually, Brian. You said he'll be made a liar shortly in the future, or something to that effect, right? I completely agree. Won't be long
he'll be a lawyer in the future.
Yeah, he's bordering on anti-flat earthism, which will lead him to being a deceitful shit within no time.
Yeah, give it a week. Yeah, he'll be an outright liar. Even if he never lied in his life, he'll be an outright liar. But I'm sure he's lied lots in his life. That's why he's going to end up being an outright liar, because he's okay with lies.
I don't ascribe them the intelligence or understanding of the subject to be liars about it.
You don't have to be smart.
But that's why I said the liars are the ones who are trying to fool, because they know that, right? That's why they're lying, right? They're lying to their own audience to try to, that they already feel are stupid enough to understand their lies. That's why they do it.
And then there's this line that they have to cross to go beyond in order to know they're lying. And that's to have a capacity of coherency and comprehension to understand the information that debunks the misinformation that they believed at one time. And then it goes back to, are they in that capacity, comprehensive and coherent? So when you tell them, and I'm saying this to reflect on like a Jaron or a Whitson, do they really know, even though they've been told over and over again? Or, and thus they're lying because they know and they're doing what Chocolate's saying, or they just don't have the comprehensive and coherent capacity to understand what Nathan and everybody else has been saying on this panel, going back and forth for the past 2-3 years. And that's why they keep perpetually telling the same misinformation.
Nah, most of them just know their paradigm makes no damn sense, which is why simultaneously you have to say it's too big to measure the curve, but we also measure the curve and have to negotiate the curve that we just said is too big to measure. They know that. They understand that shit. That shit makes no sense, and they have to try to make it make sense to people with even less intelligence than they have.
Don is correct when he says it's an appeal for ignorance, because they need ignorance for what they're promoting to continue. Because ignorance is what has allowed it to flourish for so long. And if they don't have ignorance, they don't have the paradigm. It's that simple.
Right, is it all dried up? Is the conversation coming to a close?
It hasn't dried up at all. I just said something very, spot on. Calm down there, Oakley. Yeah, calm down, Oakley. It was profound. Take it in. Get involved. Don't be trying to use it. Yeah. He's pretending like you get 2 seconds of a lull. There's not a lull. It's just people are having to think about it.
You heard it, lull.
To use that. Yeah.
Yes, there's a bit of a lull.
I think it's very shilly and Freemasonry out of you to want to end the show at that point and claim that there's nothing happening when something that was very profound was just said. That's something like a shill Freemason would do.
Absolutely, very profound.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yes, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show and after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.